they boldly go. Captains brave the cosmic flow. Kirk charisma charts the course. Picard's wisdom sets the force. Starships gleam in endless night. Through the darkness shining bright. Janeway's courage in the fray. Cisco's strength leads the way. Archer dreams of yore and new. Janeway's heart sees journeys through. Starbases sprawl in distant skies, with hope and tears in every cry. Galaxies are playgrounds vast, memories and futures cast. Engines burn and stars ignite. Spaces unfold endless night. Kirk's laughter echoes timeless ring. Picard's voice injustice sings. In between the light and dark, every soul leaves a mark. Starships gleam in endless night. Through the darkness shining bright. Janeway's courage in the fray. Cisco's strength leads the way. Galaxies are playgrounds vast, memories and futures cast. Engines burn and stars ignite. Spaces unfold endless night. Kirk's laughter echoes, silence ring. Picard's voice injustice sings. In between the light and dark, every soul leaves a mark. Starships gleam in endless night. Through the darkness shining bright. Janeway's courage in the fray. Cisco's strength leads the way.
Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek. I forgot to change that and it ends really suddenly. Get rid of me gum. Totally unprofessional. Anyway, Welcome to episode 9, or part 9, of my show, where I look at every episode of classic Star Trek, from the original series all the way up to Enterprise, which ended in 2005. So we're looking at every episode from those series. Wingray says, surrender to the night. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. And Adam Green's here saying, good evening. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Become a member, and then you can join in the live chat and all that stuff. We've got Win Grace and Adam Green there already. The music at the end sounded like that song, did it? I've no idea what that song is. I've never heard of it. I will have to look it up. Where else were we? Description. Explore the description for links for stuff like my books and merch and what else? And other stuff. Links, my Patreon page and all that jazz. So, right, so if you remember the week before, last time, we'd done Star Trek The Next Generation Season 4, which ended with Redemption Part 1. The Klingon Empire has erupted into civil war. Worf has resigned his commission, so he's left Starfleet, and now he's working with the Klingon Defence Force. I always wondered about that. Why do they call it the Klingon Defence Force? You'd think that'd be the last thing a Klingon would call it. Ooh. The alien fell off. Stand up. Are you drunk? You'd think they'd call it something a bit more aggressive, wouldn't you, than Klingon Defence Force, the Imperial Klingon Forces, or something like that, wouldn't you? But anyway, whatever. So he's gone there. Right, so that's where we've got to pick up. And we saw Tasha Yar at the end. We don't know who she is yet. We do, if you've seen it, but I mean, we're not supposed to know who she is yet. We just saw her pop up at the end, working with the Romulans. Right, so we shall begin, shall we? We'll go through it. Every episode of Season 5 of Star Trek The Next Generation. So I'll add it to the stage. There it is. So off we go. It'll come on. There we go. We've got his recap. So we'll zip through. As I said, there you go. That's Worf leaving leaving the Starfleet, putting his communicator down. That's like handing in his badge and his weapon to his captain. Down at the precinct, but anyway, there we go. So he's left, and hang on, and there we go. We saw Sealer. Spoilers. Denise Crosby reappears again. So there we go, with Mad Air. But anyway, we'd seen her before in, like, I think the previous episode, or the episode previous to that. I can't remember which one, but she was in the shadows, and I don't think it was Denise Crosby. I think it was somebody a stand-in, and we just heard Denise Crosby's voice. But anyway, this is the first time that we see her. Right, so we begin, and there's the Worf's on at the end. He buggered off with Gowron, and they were gonna serve on Gowron's ship. I forgot what it's called, but the Vulture class attack cruiser. We're going to serve on that, they said. He was going to be his comms officer or whatever, or his tactical officer or something. But by the time, I don't know how much time's passed, by the way. I don't think it tells us. Maybe it does, I don't know. But now he's serving aboard his brother Kern's Bird of Prey. I don't know which class of Bird of Prey it is, because they're a bit fast and loose with the Bird of Prey. You've got the Kavort class and the Burrell class, and they both look identical to each other, but one's a lot bigger than the other, and I can never remember which one it is. I will look it up now. Klingon Birds of Prey. I think the Burrell class is the bigger one, but I could be wrong. Birds of Prey, right. Let's have a look in Memory Alpha. That's where we need to look into it. I bet I've looked up this before and then forgotten. Anyway. Come on, tell us. There we go. The Burrell class. Doesn't say. Kavort class. referred to as a battle cruiser. So maybe it's the Cavort class that's the larger. I have no idea. It's not telling us. It's not telling us which is bigger. I shall just type that in then. Klingon birds of prey. Which is the larger type? Question mark. Right, there we go. The Cavort class is the big one, with a crew of 300. They look identical to the Burrell class, which has a crew of 12. What we're on now, I have no idea. But anyway, we're on the ship of Kern, and Worf's telling him that they're getting a pounding from. By the way, I did say it, didn't I? The Klingon Empire's erupted into civil war between Gowron, who is the Chancellor, the legal ruler of the Empire, because they don't have an emperor just yet. They've got a Chancellor. They don't have an emperor. But I think they get one in. Is it season 6? They get an emperor. Careless returns. Quotes. But anyway, that's for the future. And the Duras family have challenged Gowron, so there's a civil war going on. Anyway, so Duras's ship is under attack from Duras's forces, and he's leading them into a star. He's tending them into the surface of the star because they're getting a pounding. The shields are failing, people are dead, and I'm not landing on the right bits. Come on, show us. And see, I've gone past it. There we go. No, it's not going to show it again, is it? Tell you, bloody. There we go. They go to the surface of the star and then go to warp. And it forces the star to create essentially a coronal ejection or whatever, and it destroys the Duras birds of prey, thusly. So there we go. So they're safe. Meanwhile, the Enterprise arrived at Starbase 234, where I think Captain Picard has an idea where they can help the Klingon Empire, even though they're not supposed to be interfering. First thing they do, they're going to start interfering. Where they meet in Admiral, is it Shanti? Is that her name? I can't remember. But he's got an idea where they think they know that the Romulans are helping the Duras. It's the only way that the Duras family, their ships, can challenge, hold sway against Gowron's fleet. So they think they're getting help and supplies and stuff like that from the Romulans. So they intended to put up a grid on the Klingon Romulan border so they can detect any Romulan ships. But we all know that Romulans have cloaking devices, don't we? So he says, well, my chief engineer has developed a way to nullify that effect, and unfortunately they don't seem to use it very often, although it is mentioned a couple more times. But anyway, whatever. So it says, put your plan into action. I will get Starfleet Command to, give the big okay. And I don't know why I'm going into this episode in such great detail. I'm not supposed to, am I? We've 26 episodes to look at, and I'll be here all bloody night if I do that. But anyway, right. So then the episode begins, and I just want to point this out. It's not going to land on it, is it? There we go. We get a new logo just for season 5. Why? Dunno. It just does. We've got like these rays coming off the text. Don't know why. But if you watch Star Trek Lower Decks season 5, they also do that. Just for season 5. Don't know why. Just do. Anyway. So there we go. Anyway, so what they're going to do, they're assembling a fleet. I think they've 20-odd ships, 28 ships, something like that. I can't remember. The 20-odd ships. Some of them are a bit dilapidated, but they're getting fixed. And they haven't got captains for some reason. Don't know why. Maybe it's because of what happened at Wolf 359. Starfleet's kind of still in a bit of disarray, I suppose, because it lost 39 ships at Wolf 359 and 11,000 people. So they're not at full strength, I suppose you could say. So some ships are without captains. So this is where, excuse me, Riker is given the Excalibur, which I'm not sure what class of ship that is. We do see it, but I'm not sure. It looks a little bit like an Ambassador class, which Enterprise C was, but I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong. Anyway, he's getting in charge with that, and George is going to become his first officer, and Data, although not immediately, but he's given command of the USS Sutherland, which is a Nebula class with a crappy bridge. We'll see, but anyway. So let's whiz on through this. Worf and Duras go back to the Klingon homeworld for reasons, don't know why, and they're in a bar and it's all fun and games and they're having fights and stuff. We see that Worf isn't really a typical Klingon. He's not having fun. He's worrying more about his duty and all that, and Kern's telling him, "Oh, have a fight, it'll be right." But he gets kidnapped. I think it might be this bit, whatever. But anyway, he gets kidnapped by the Duras sisters. Anyway, right. Data goes to the USS Sutherland, and we learn that this is his first officer, Lieutenant Commander Christopher Hobson. I'm sure a command officer would irk at somebody of equal rank is taking command of the ship, and he's not even a command officer. Obviously, he's an operations officer in the Data, but I'm sure that's why he's a bit irked. But he's also irked because, I'm using that word a lot, because Data's an android and he doesn't think Data's good enough to be captain. But anyway, but Data proves that he is. Anyway, so they set their trap, and they realised, the Romulans, that Starfleet's up to something. So Sela decides to introduce herself to Picard. It says, "My name is Sela. I'm not Tasha Yar. Tasha Yar was my mother," and we learn all about what happened at the Battle of Narendra 3 with the Enterprise C, and that Tasha Yar was on board that ship. Obviously, they don't know why. We know why because we saw the episode yesterday's Enterprise, but they don't know what happened because obviously the time changed and stuff, didn't it? And Guinan tries to tell him later that Tasha Yar was on that ship. I can't explain how I know, but I just do. But anyway, and it turns out Tasha Yar survived. Others survived that battle as well, and were taken prisoner by the Romulans. And the Romulan commander fell in love with Tasha Yar and birthed Sela. And then Tasha Yar tried to escape with her. She bundled her up and tried to take her away, and she called out, and so they executed Tasha Yar. So Tasha Yar's were killed twice in Star Trek. Anyway, so this is Worf being seduced by the Duras sisters, and despite them being Klingons and stuff, I wouldn't mind it. Oh dear. But anyway, so anyway, a big battle is happening, and this is the Starfleet grid ships that they're doing. 3 times, if you count. Yes, because all the ships blew up, didn't they, and all good things. So, yes. And she was in that as well. This is where they're going to catch the Romulans. The Romulans are up to their shenanigans, and they're going to catch them. And it's up to Data. There he is on the bridge of the Sutherland. Why are all other ship bridges crap? That's not a hero ship. Those look rubbish, don't they, more or less? This is a Nebula class ship, so you'd think it'd have a bridge pretty much the same as a Galaxy class. Because a Nebula class is just a Galaxy class ship, but without a secondary hull, isn't it? It's basically a Miranda class of the Galaxy class, if you know what I mean. So you think it'd have the same bridge, or at least a similar layer, similar size, not some poxy little room. But anyway, whatever. Data susses it all out, what the Romulans are up to. He doesn't agree, but he obeys, and the Romulans are rumbled, and they pull out and say, "Oh, the Klingons, the Duras are on their own." So the Duras family, just because the Romulans are pulling out, the Duras sisters lose all their support, and therefore are defeated, and they escape, but they leave their little brother Toral, who does pop up again later. I think is he in Deep Space Nine? I think he's into. We will get to that in the future. He's left to suffer the consequences of their treachery. But they escape, and we see him again in Star Trek Generations, the Duras sisters, where they meet an untimely death, unfortunately. Oh, we do see him again in Deep Space Nine, early in Deep Space Nine, don't we? We see him in that. Anyway, so Picard goes and finishes off the rite of whatever, Gowron becoming Chancellor, and Worf's there. By the way, Worf's got his honour back. He doesn't have to be a discommendation thing. I mean, it's been cancelled, so the family of Moog, the House of Moog, is now super duper again, but not for long. But anyway, and here Toral comes, and Gowron gives the life of Toral to Worf, and Worf says, "No, I'm not going to kill him, because I'll expect him to kill him." He says, "Just a boy," and it falls to Kern, and Kern will kill him. I don't care, because I'm a proper Klingon. I'll kill anybody. And Worf says, "No." And he says, "But it is the Klingon way." He says, "Yeah, but it is not my way, because I'm a big girly woofed Klingon." But anyway, and then he just goes up to Picard and says, "Permission to return to duty." Picard says, "Okie dokie," and they go, and Worf just carries on as if nothing had happened, despite him, whatever. Yes, I know. I'm going to have the rest of the episodes. I'm going to have to just skip over that. And Worf goes back and is now back to work. Never mind, said, "No, but you can't come back. You've already resigned." "No, if you want to come back, no, you might not get back on this ship." But he does, because he's whatever. Anyway, right. So, and then we go on to the next episode. So that everything's back to normal. Next episode, Darmok, fan favourite, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, etc. This is where the Enterprise meets up the children of Tamar, aka the Tamarians. There they are, with Paul Winfield as I forgot his name, as the captain of the Tamarian ship. Paul Winfield played Captain Tyrrell in Star Trek 2, in case you didn't know. And they want to open negotiations, but they can't speak. Although they speak in English, obviously the universal translator is translating their language into English, but they're speaking like this gibberish. They're saying Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, Hazani's army, and all that stuff. They're all this weird stuff that they don't know what they're on about. So the Tamarians beam their captain, Dathan. Is it Dathan? Dathan? I don't know. They beam him down, and Picard down to the planet, and obviously the rest of the crew have got to find a way to get the captain back. The Tamarians have put a scattering field in so they can't beam him back. So it's a game of brinksmanship. Anyway, the upshot of it is the Tamarian captain wants Picard to help him fight the Beast of Tanagra, or the Beast of Eladrel. That's the name of the planet, by the way, Eladrel. But obviously he doesn't understand. But eventually they come together. The Enterprise fails to rescue Picard, because they can use the sensors are working. Yes, this is Picard's arena, isn't it? But better. They fight the Beast, which has kind of got like this weird cloaking device. I think we saw something similar in. Did we see something similar in Stargate? I think we did. I can't remember. But anyway. And the Tamarian captain gets injured, and he actually gets injured because they try to beam the captain up, just as they're about to fight this beast, and Picard's in the transporter being going, "No!" But anyway, I'm laughing about it. Oh, this is where he's telling him, "Tell me a story," and so he tries to tell him the story of Gilgamesh, because it means nothing to but he's telling him a story in in metaphorical terms because that's how they communicate, in metaphor. So he eventually works it all out. I don't know how that'd work in real, in reality. How could you have a technologically advanced civilization just speaking in metaphor all the time? How would you get into the little nitty-gritty bits of, a fuse and stuff like that, and welding and etc. Little stuff that you need, definitive terms for, not just something from mythology. I don't know, but anyway. They eventually suss it out. Is about to get attacked by the beast, but they manage to beam him out just in time. The captain dies, not our captain, the Temerian captain, but they beam him out just in time. The Eladrel ship is super powerful. I think it could have destroyed the Enterprise if it wanted to, but luckily these are nice people. But anyway, Picard comes back and says, starts speaking to him in their own metaphorical way, and they understand, and everything's cool, and they part on friendly terms, and it's a cool episode. It is really cool, and a lot of fun. And there we go. And there's Picard. He's got the knife that Dathan give him, or whatever it's called. And then he does the little thing that they did, and all that. But a cool episode. So anyway, on to the next one. There we go. That was Darmok. Season 5 is pretty good, to be honest. I can't think of any that, I said this last time and found one, didn't I? But but there's even I think it's in season 5. There's even a Luxana Troy episode that I quite liked, and I don't usually like Luxana Troy episodes because she's got a stupid name that I can't pronounce. But anyway, Luxana. Anyway, but Ancient Rose next. It's where we meet Mr. Mott, the barber. Don't know why Picard's going to see a barber. He's got nothing there, has he? I presume they just get the off it goes. But there it is. We meet him, Mr. Mott. Do we see him? How many times do we see Mr. Mott? I don't know. It's not many times, is it? Is it this the only time we see him? I don't know. But anyway, it's a Bolian barber. Apparently the best barber in Starfleet. But anyway. Right. So there's trouble with the Cardassians. Anyway, so he's going to meet this admiral who's got some sort of cold or flu or whatever. That he's picked up from. Was he in Schisms as well? All right. That's one of my favourite episodes. Is that? I'm guessing that's season 6. Anyway, he's picked up a cold or flu or whatever from a Cardassian that he were in talks with. Anyway, they've got to go and there's Bajoran separatists. I think is this the first time Bajor's mentioned? I can't remember. I don't know, but I think it might be the first time that the Cardassian occupation of Bajor's been mentioned. And they refer to the people of Bajor as the Bajora, not Bajorans, just Bajora. Not Baj, and Picard. I think even in Deep Space Nine, it doesn't call it Bajor, it calls it Bajor. But anyway, whatever. Worf freaked out at his scissors. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, didn't he? Yes. I guess because Mr. Mott said Worf had such luxurious hair in that episode, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Anyway, so we learn that there's some Bajoran, terrorist cell that's attacking Cardassians, and they've got to suss him out. So he's got to go and get Ensign Rowe, who's basically in prison. She's been brought out of the stockade or whatever. She's been up on charges. Ensign Rowe Laren, and they're bringing her on board. There she is, played by Michelle Forbes, who we saw last season in the episode Half a Life, didn't we? Ella Waxana Troy episode. We saw her in that. She played somebody else. Anyway, pardon me. We learned that basically they don't like her. She was a lieutenant, but she got demoted because of reasons. I don't know. She's got a history of disobeying orders and stuff like that. So there we go. So they're using her to go find this Bajoran leader or whatever. So that's what they're going to do. And the upshot of it is it's all a ruse and it's all a plan by the Cardassians and the Admiral, who turns out he's a bad. He's been in cahoots with the Cardassians. He's your typical bad Starfleet Admiral. Don't know why they bother having them, because more often than not they end up being baddies, don't they? But anyway, so they're in cahoots with them. And Ensign Rose is supposed to be working for this admiral, and she decides that the right thing to do would be to be on Picard's side. So she tells him what the shtick is, and then we go. Oh, it might be. I don't know if this is the first time. No, it isn't. We've seen them before, haven't we? Cardassian ships. And they've done away. Although I think they're still wearing the same uniforms, which look awful. That when we saw them in The Wounded last season, but they've got rid of the weird helmets that they wore, haven't they? But anyway, so the upshot of it is that we're all a ruse, that they want to get rid of this Cardassian, and then I think that about a year later they pull out, don't they? There's the Cardassians, they pull out of Bajor and all that stuff. But and then Ensign Rose becomes a member of the crew, and she's allowed to wear her earring, a Bajoran earring. She's allowed to wear that, because apparently they're not allowed to, because it's not part of the dress code. But yet Worf's allowed to wear his baldric, isn't he? Why? Dunno, just is. Anyway, but Picard allows her to wear her earring. There you go. And then she becomes a member of the crew, and so she becomes like a non-regular. But it's not in every episode. But there we go. Right, so that's Ensign Rose. A decent episode. It's okay. I don't mind. It introduces you to a major character that's coming up. And Troy is allowed to wear not much, yes, until Captain Jellicoe comes aboard and he sorts her out, doesn't he? Good old Captain Jellicoe. Anyway, next up, Silicon Avatar, another good one is this one with the Silicon entity. Here they are. They're getting ready for this planet for colonisation. Have I got the subtitles on? Yes, I have, but it's just not showing us them. Anyway, they're getting ready for this planet for colonisation. Riker kind of falls in love with her. They seem to be in some sort of relationship or building up to a relationship. She looks familiar. I've probably seen her. She's probably been in Star Trek before or something, or since, but she does look familiar. But anyway. But then stuff happens, and the silicon... hang on, too far. The silicon entity appears. Look, the sky darkens. How big is this silicon entity then? It must be like huge. But anyway, they're going to show it. Go on, look up. Show it. There it is. Is it CG? It must be CG. Looks it, doesn't it? It's arrived. It's going to start scouring the planet. Half Troy, half Terry Hatcher. Yeah, she's a bit injured. So it's going to start scouring the planet, get rid of all life, and I don't know. They're kind of in this episode. I do like this episode, but again, they try and make out that this life form that is just going around, just destroying all life on these planets. Maybe it's got a reason for it, or maybe it doesn't understand. Like. What other episode? But in the original series, it might have been in TNG. I can't remember where they came across. It might have been in the animated series. I can't remember. But one of them, they came across an entity that were basically killing life on all these planets, and they talked it out of it, didn't they? It didn't want to, destroy all the little creatures. Yes, Star Trek Galactus. Yes, it is. Anyway, so it's going around and destroying kills everybody apart from who they get into these caves. There you go, they were hiding caves, and they survive. And the silicon entity moves on, and the Enterprise arrives in time and saves these. The woman that he fell in love with, obviously she got, She went back to help somebody, and as she were helping him, the beam of energy from the silicon entity did, sucked him up, I suppose, or whatever it did. Anyway, so the Enterprise is tasked with dealing with the silicon entity. She arrives, whatever she's called. I don't know. Ask me. I don't know. But her son were on the colony where Data were created. And he died. The silicon entity attacked that colony. So she's basically got it in for the silicon entity. But she's become an expert on it as well. So they're taking readings. There she's talking to Data. And we learn that Data somehow has the memories of the colonists. That's how it's referred to, but it's not. It's more like the log entries or the diaries of the colonists that he can recite. But he can do it in their voice as well. So anyway, but whatever. And so she's like, "Oh, he's my boy," and all that. So she goes mental. They find out that they can communicate with the silicon entity, and they say, "Oh, look, it's talking to us." But she does this vibration thing. The way that can talk to it is they use this, a vibrational whatever doohickey, and that means they can communicate with it. So it responds to them. So it's like, "Oh, it's intelligent. It's not just a mindless creature going around killing things." But she turns it up to 11. She turns it up to 11 and destroys the silicon entity. And she says, "It were all for you." Oh, there you go, destroyed. Look, you can see it there. Look, oh, she's destroyed the silicon entity. Just Temple's here. Yay! Let's hook us a crystal whale. She does more than that. She blows the bugger up, doesn't she? She says, "It were all for you," whatever my son were called. And then she has Data takes her back to her quarters. She's basically a prisoner now, I suppose. I don't know. Will there be consequences? I don't know. But, she's got rid of the silicon entity, so no more people, unless there's others out there. What it Damien? I don't know. I can probably Bobby or something, or whatever. But Data, she says, "I did it for you." And Data says, "Oh, you're a mad old bird, and your son wouldn't have been happy about what you've done." So there, and sticks 2 fingers up in her face and buggers off. And leaves her crying in her quarters. Probably. I don't know. That's just how I look at it. But anyway, yes, it was all for you, dear. No, and then she hangs herself. Oh dear. By the way, I've just ordered the Omen trilogy on Blu-ray, so we'll be getting round to that in Friday Night Apart with Fear at some point. Anyway, or have I done the first one? I might have done the first one, mightn't I? I can't actually remember. I'll have to look back, won't I? But anyway, whatever. Anyway, so a good episode is that one. I like that one. Silicon Avatar. Well worth a watch. And the woman, I can't remember the characters' names, becomes her descent into madness is quite cool. And Data's rebuff at the end. I like that. So, moving on, what's next? Episode 5 is Disaster, another good episode, where we get a bit of Ensign Rowe in this one, throwing away around. Is 10 forward closed there? It must be. The Enterprise, I don't know what time it is, but have you noticed more often than not, when you see the Enterprise, I mean, there's these here, I mean, what's the front? Oh, that might be 10 forward, might it? Yeah, I think it is, because them lights will be at the front, the forward section. So that'll be 10 forward there, won't it? What are these other rooms then? They've got these massive windows. I've no idea. Are they quarters? I don't know. What rooms are these? They've got these massive windows. Don't know. But anyway, whatever. Pretty sure he did the first one. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I might have done. But I haven't got it on DVD. Blu-ray. I've got it on DVD, but I haven't got it on Blu-ray. I don't think. I hope I've just bought it again. No, I don't think I have. Anyway, where were we? Disaster, right. So, this is where the Enterprise comes across is it a cosmic string, or is it the other one? I can't remember. The one that, see, I'm like Diana Troy. She says, is it like a A cosmic strength. I'm going to look it up now. Where's my list? Disaster. Where are you? Just says a space anomaly there. Ooh, pardon me. Right, plot. A quantum filament, which is nothing like a cosmic string, because Chief O'Brien tells her all about that. Anyway, is it this one where it's picked somebody's birthday? Is it this one? No, it isn't. That's another one, isn't it? But for some reason, they're in 10 forward, for whatever reason. Keiko's there. Apparently, she's suddenly massively pregnant. We haven't seen her for God knows how long, and suddenly she's about to have a baby. And that's a Young Ones reference. So there we go. And she's in 10 forward with Waff, and they get called to the bridge. Geordie's in the one of the shuttle bays or whatever, what they call them, cargo bays, with Dr. Crusher, who's trying to get him to be in a play. Because maybe she likes to do plays for some reason. She got Barclay in doing Cyrano de Bergerac, didn't she? Now she's trying to get Geordie to do Pirates of Penzance. Is it that one? I don't know. I am the very model of a modern Major General. That one. She's getting him to do that, but he don't really want to. And it's these kids who are super annoying are the winners of the science fair. They're annoying, but also quite funny, particularly this one, because he said he put some seeds in some special dirt and they came up all weird, and he's just annoying. Anyway, so they're on a tour. They're going on a tour with the captors. They're in the turbo lift. Suddenly, it all goes and the ship shakes and all the lights go off, and they've intersected the quantum filament, and it's damaged the Enterprise, and it's all going to pot. Meanwhile, on the bridge, the Chief O'Brien, he was called to the bridge for some reason, can't remember why, and Deanna Troy, and Lieutenant somebody or other, Lieutenant Redshirt, she were in command of the bridge, but she gets killed when something blows up in her face. And there's somebody else. There's another lieutenant, or maybe he's an ensign. I can't remember, but he's there as well. I don't think we see him again. If we do, I don't think he's got a speaking role, but it says a couple of lines in this. I think Picard's broken his leg, but he's gritting his teeth and getting through it. They all think they're going to die, and say, "We're not going to die." Anyway, he was called to the bridge because he was cast in DS9. He's giving him more screen time. A bit of practice. So he's not just stood behind the transporter console. It's the most important man in the universe, isn't he? Win Grace, he is. We found that out in Star Trek Lower Decks because he's done everything, hasn't he? He's been an engineer, a transporter chief. He's been a tactical officer on the Phoenix. What is the Phoenix or the other one? No, not the Phoenix. The one we were on before with Captain Thingamabob. But he's done everything, hasn't he? Anyway, suddenly Ensign Rowe appears. She was stuck in a turbo lift, and so she appears and tries to take charge. But Deanna Troy's in command because she's got a bridge. This the Rutledge, that what it is. I know it began with R, but I couldn't think of it. I kept thinking Rutherford. I thought, no, that's him. That's him from Lower Decks. I was getting Sutherland and Rutledge mixed up in my head, I think. Anyway, but Deanna Troy is in command of the bridge because she's the ranking officer. She's got a rank of lieutenant commander. We learned this. I don't know if we'd heard this before, but we learned this from Chief O'Brien, and it seems as much of a surprise to Deanna Troy as it does to the rest of us, because she's never wore rank insignia before, has she? I don't think she has, anyway. So we learned that she's. Is it like an honorary rank then? I have no idea, because honorary ranks are mentioned. Because Riker said it to to Data when he first met him, didn't he? Your rank of Lieutenant Commander is honorary then. He says, oh, no, I went to the academy and all that. But anyway. Anyway, so all these parts, the comms is down and there's a problem in engineering and they've got a plasma fire in the cargo bay. So they've all got these problems that they've got to work round. So they decide to, in the cargo bay, they've got to open the... by the way, all the power's out, but yet there's still power to the force field in the cargo bay. That was lucky, wasn't it? But, so all power's not out. There's still a bit of power when you need it, like into that panel there. Emergency power, I suppose, because emergency power's never affected by spatial anomalies, it seems. Anyway, so Data and Riker, they were in 10 forward. They're now heading to engineering. Seems to be nobody else in engineering. Where's the rest of the crew? Have they all bogged off somewhere? Don't know. But they get to engineering. There's no bugger there. They're going to blow the air out of the cargo bay, thus extinguishing the plasma fire. She works out, does Roe and Chief O'Brien, that there's this problem in engineering and the ship's going to blow up if it isn't fixed. So they've got to send a message to engineering. If there's anybody alive down there, so that's what they're doing. They've got to get out of the turbo lift because it's going to fall, it seems. Which they manage. Keiko's going to start having a baby. Worf's going to be the midwife. See, they're climbing up a ladder now, even though he's got a broken leg, doing well, and they're singing a song. I think Frère Jacques, obviously, because he's French. Even though he's not really, is he? I know he's English actor, but even in Picard, this is Picard, he wasn't really French, was he? They went back to France, didn't they? He was raised in Britain, which is why he's got a British accent. Whatever, that's not canon, but anyway, although it is, but never mind. Yeah, they're going to open up the shuttle bay. There it goes, and the plasma fire is extinguished, and now they've got to start the force field up again. They're fine. Riker takes off Data's head. There it is. Oh, I saw it there. Look, hang on, where are we? Riker takes off Data's head. There it is. Not the first time we see Data's disembodied head. Well, not the last time, should I say, in this season. Earlier on, there was some weird electrical thing going on in the Jeffries tube that they were in, and Data basically threw himself in front of it, and it shut down his body, but his head was fine. So Riker took off his head and took him down to engineering and plugged him into the computer, a bit like Han Solo plugging 3PO into the computer. I don't know. But now he's the controlling the Enterprise, and he fixes the problem with his brain. They get out of the turbo shaft. Power comes back on, but not before Keiko has a baby. You have now dilated 9 centimeters. Congratulations. You may now give birth. And it's all very amusing. There she is. You can see her look. I am pushing. This is where she's saying it. Oh, never mind. Luckily, they don't show us it. It's not. What's that film now? That Seth, what's his face film? I can't remember. Never mind. It's Crowning, that one. They don't go into all that. Anyway, so this is where Molly, isn't it? Yes, Molly's their eldest. This is where Molly's born. Cute little baby. You know, no blood and puddings on it. Obviously, Worf wiped her off. But anyway, so there we go. And the kids come back. Everything's fixed and everything's lovely. The kids come back and they've made Picard there it is, a little plaque to thank him for helping them when they were scared. There it is, look, to Captain Picard. And there we go. And now he's going to show them the battle bridge and torpedo bays and stuff, because they had an adventure together and everything's lovely. There we go. Cool episode is Disaster. I like that one. It's one of my faves. I think it is one of my faves, The Disaster. Because they've all got to do their own thing, separate from everybody. It shows how clever Starfleet people are, I suppose. And even Deanna Troi has moments. I'm not a big Deanna Troi fan, or Marina Sirtis fan in particular, but she's not too bad in this. Anyway, next up, The Game. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this episode because it's a Wesley one. Anyway, we see Riker is on Riser, of course, and he's having fun and games with this alien lady. There she is with a forehead that is not attractive, but he's having fun and games. And she's introduced him to this game. Look, tell she's a baddie. Look, see, this game, apparently, if you just do this game where you make these frisbees go into this thingy, to this trumpet, it makes you become addicted to it, because it when you do it floods your system with endorphins or something. And so you become addicted to the game. So that's what's going to happen in this episode. But we learn that Wesley's back on board. He's on vacation from the academy, and he's come back to see his mother and his friends. So he's on vacation. And the first thing is they want to put him to work. I'm on vacation. I'm not going to bugger off you, but no, they put him to work. And he falls in love with Ashley Judd, who's famous. I know she's been in stuff. I know, but I can't think of anything she's been in. All I can think of is she had something to do with a racing driver at one point. I can't remember who, but she did. But anyway, so she's here. I think she's in this episode. She's in another episode as well, isn't she? So I think she's like a couple of episodes. And she's like a background character in a couple of episodes. And then I think in this one, she comes to the fore, doesn't she? Anyway. So, there's Deanna having some chocolates, blah, blah, blah. He's saying, "No, you want to try this game?" Here's Wesley arriving, and all the crew become addicted to this game because they keep, replicating this game, and I said, all the crew become addicted to it. And it's all a plan by these aliens to basically capture the Enterprise and sell it for whatever reason. And Wesley and Ashley Judd, there we go, they sort it out. Look, they're working out what's going on, and they overcome it and foil the plans of the aliens. Sort it all out. All right, they work out that if you do this loud noise, it resets you, so you're not like going all whoa, all cosmic man. So he sussers it out. So there we go. Yeah, whatever. It's a whatever episode. Not my favourite. Probably my least favourite, maybe, of this season, I think. Unless we come across another and I've just forgotten. But yeah, The Game. Not Star Trek at its best, to be completely honest. Moving on. Episode 7. Oh, this is the high point of Season 5 for me. Unification. Parts 1 and 2. Leonard Nimoy's in it. Is astonishingly, amazingly good because it's Leonard bloody Nimoy. But anyway, but we also get, there we go, Gene Roddenberry had died. So anyway, so this came out what are we on, 91? So this is the 30th anniversary, isn't it? Is it? No, 25th anniversary. This is the 25th anniversary special, isn't it? I think the 30th anniversary special. This was the 25th. The 30th anniversary special was Trials and Tribulations, and the one in Voyager, wasn't it? The one in Voyager, which was the one with Sulu in it. Was that the 35th or the 40th? I can't remember. Anyway, so this is the anniversary, and it's like a sequel to Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. Because that is referenced in this episode. But anyway, and Gene Roddenberry had died, which was very sad. Anyway, so an admiral, a goody admiral this time. I've noticed the bad admirals all usually tend to be men, don't they? And all the women admirals are all goodies. Even the horrible one, even Admiral Nechayev that nobody likes. She was still a goodie. She was just not a nice person to get on with, but anyway. Right, she's telling Picard that a Federation ambassador they think may have defected to Romulus because they've got a photo of him on Romulus, and so they're going to look at the photo now and be shocked by what they see. It's not going to go on it, is it? I'll tell you. There it is. Ooh, look, it's Spock of Vulcan. And I want to know how he's walking about on Romulus and not being arrested, but apparently he is. Right, so Picard and the Enterprise, they've got to head to Romulus, but obviously the only way they can get there is with a cloaked vessel, so they're going to borrow one off the Klingons. But first, I forgot, because I just remembered because I saw Perrin there, they've got to head to Vulcan to speak to Sarek, who's become ill. Remember, he's got Bendai syndrome, hasn't he? So he's not well, is Sarek. We learn that although they started getting on again at the end of Star Trek 4, Sarek and Spock had started, getting on again and becoming, civil with one another. They'd had more fallings out, particularly about the Cardassian Wars, apparently. But so they hadn't spoken for a while. But anyway. And we also learned that Picard had met Spock. And I'm sure in the new Star Treks, I'm sure there was something where, that little factoid was forgotten. But Picard says, I only met him once. But anyway. Right, so he's got to go see Sarek. Oh, aye, they've also got to... the Vulcans have asked them to investigate a ship that had crashed. A Vulcan ship called the T'Pau. Had crashed, and they've got to suss out what's happened to it. So they've got all that wreckage to sift through. Right, he's going to go see there we go, Sarek, who's not well. His emotions have taken over, and he does have moments of lucidity, and then he does here, and it's very sad. So he comes round a bit when Picard speaks to him. Remember the mind melded in the episode Sarek, and he tells him he's gone to see Pardek. Pardek was in Star Trek 6. He was at Kittimer with the Romulans. So there we go, and it's all very emotional because Sarek, he succumbs again, and he can't even do that. So Picard has to do it for him. So they've got to head to Romulus now, where they're going to ask the Klingons to borrow a cloaked ship. We learn that Gowron's rewriting Klingon history, omitting the Federation's help in his rise to power, but whatever. Here we go, the Klingon ship appears. So anyway, so Data and Picard are heading to Romulus, and they're going to disguise themselves as Romulans. So off they go. Meanwhile, the Enterprise is headed to Quailor 2, to the surplus yard at Quailor 2, to find out what happened with this ship, this Vulcan ship, because it's all interconnected by the end. This is the quartermaster. I can't remember his species, but he needs to get some sleep, doesn't he? Got bags under his eyes. Anyway, so we learn that stuff's happening there. Things are disappearing from the surplus yard and being sold on. We learn to the Romulans. But anyway, this is a funny scene where Data and Picard are in their quarters. There's only one shelf for them to sleep on, so Data's just standing there and putting Picard off from sleeping. Anyway, so there you go. They've got disguised as Romulans, look, complete with head ridges. This is before we were told that, is it Southern Romulans have the ridges and Northern Romulans don't? So is Spock passing himself off as a Northern Romulan? I don't bloody know. Does he speak Romulan? Don't know. Because have they learned Romulan? Because they're just going and talking to everybody. Everybody's speaking English. You haven't to overthink it, have you? Never mind. Anyway, so they're going to Romulus, and There's Pardek, and there's the Romulan proconsul, who's the leader of Romulus, and they're going to look for Spock, and they do find him in a bit. There you go. They think they're getting arrested, but they get taken down into a cave. There we go. Before that, I forgot to mention, they find a ship. Where is it? That's taking things from the surplus yard. Where the hell is it? And the Enterprise is forced to destroy it. And have we done that bit? Have we got past it? The Enterprise is forced to destroy this ship. Where the hell is it? I'm sure it was in the part 1. There it is. There it is. It would be, you know. But anyway, they don't identify themselves, so they fire on it and it blows up. Is it going to blow up now? No, they're going to shoot at it. And because it's full of arms, apparently. Not arms, you know, weapons. And they shoot at it and it just blows up. Anyway, so then at the end of this episode, Spock pops up. And, for God's sake. There he is. Looking amazing. He says, I'm looking for Spock. He says, you're founding Captain Picard. And it's a cool reveal, because everyone's going like, wow, it's Spock. Even though we knew we were going to be in it, because it was in the beginning. But it's still ace. This is when, you know, Leonard Nimoy was, before he became, his eyes went all weird, didn't they? As he got older. His eyes kind of got, you know, he got old man's eyes, didn't he, by the end? As though he were blind. I don't know, his eyes went all funny. But this is peak Spock, in my opinion. But anyway, so that's part 1. Right, part 2. Here they are. They're at Romulus, and we're still on the recap. Never mind. Right, moving on. There you go. You have found him, and he says, "Oh, by the way, we got news. We got news that Sarek had died. By the way, he had succumbed to his Bendai syndrome. So now Picard's got to give him the sad news that Sarek is dead, and all that stuff. Anyway, we learn that the proconsul is open to unification talks, because that's what Spock is on Romulus for. He wants Romulus and Vulcan to become reunified, and it would take 900 years or whatever for that to happen, wouldn't it? But whatever. And we learned that the proconsul is open to the suggestion that Romulus and Vulcan become reunified, and obviously Spock's suspicious of it, and so is Picard. Meanwhile, they're trying to find out who this ship belonged to and what were they doing, and we learned that a Ferengi, it was selling stuff to a Ferengi, and we're going to see him in a bit. There's Spock talking to the proconsul, who's called Neral. And so, anyway, there we go. So that's all cool, they think, but it's not, obviously. Data's obviously not going back down. He's taking his Romulan stuff off. And he has a cool conversation with Spock here. Because Spock says that Picard is, strange for a human, strangely analytical, and all that. And finds it curious that Data wants to become human because he has no emotions, and he says there are Vulcans that struggle all their lives to achieve what he has been given by design. But anyway, a cool little conversation, that. Here comes the fat Ferengi. So they want information off him, and eventually to get information you just got to throw his dinner on his lap. Pardon me. And he tells them they've got to go to Galland and Car, where they've been before, haven't they? Galland and Car, that were where Geordie was stuck with that Romulan, wasn't he? They've got to go there. So that's what they're doing. So they head there. Meanwhile, we learn, there we go, that it's all a ruse. They don't want unification. Well, they do, but basically the Romulus wants to invade Vulcan. And what they've been doing is getting these ships and stuff like that, Vulcan ships from these people that the Enterprise is investigating, and they're going to pack them full of troops and invade Romulus. Not Romulus, invade Vulcan. Windgrace, so the Ferengi was supposed to be Quark, but since DS9 hadn't aired yet, and this was moved up, they wrote him out. Oh, right, very good. I'm glad they didn't, because he was rubbish, wasn't he, that Ferengi? We also saw Worf singing earlier on. There was that keyboard woman who's got 4 arms playing the keyboard, singing Act 2 and Melota. Melota! Singing that. But anyway. So here we get, is it Sealer's here? She pops up again, saying that we're going to invade Vulcan. Ha ha! Twirls a moustache, metaphorically. But she wants, what's his face, Spock to say, say good things. He says, I'm not going to say anything. You're going to kill me. And she says, oh, whatever. So they're going to use a holographic Spock to allow the Vulcan ships into Federation space. Anyway, what are you playing for? Stop it. So that's their plan. The Enterprise arrives at Galand Core, and the Vulcan ships are going to arrive any minute. They foil her plans by using, because it's a holodeck that they're in for some reason, and they make it look like whatever. But anyway, they foil her plans, and Data does a Vulcan neck pinch. Here we go. Look, cannot allow you to warn your guards, and does a Vulcan neck pinch. There we go. And Spock says, "Not bad," to him. Not bad. Cool. Anyway, I'm sad that we never saw more Spock Data stuff happening, but anyway, never mind. Right, so they arrive at Galand Core, and the 3 Vulcan ships come across the border, and then Spock appears on screen and says, "This is an invasion force." It's supposed to say, these are Vulcan ships carrying, a delegation, a peaceful delegation from Romulus, and let them through. But he comes on and says, "It's an invasion force, kill them all." Data is a touch telepath. Well, I don't know about that. It's all the nerves in it and stuff. Anyway, and the Romulans destroy their own ships. I've just gone past it, haven't I? Yes, I have. Because Netflix is crap. Oh, there we go. And where is it? There you go. Destroyed their own ships. There. With the thousands of Romulan troops on, and then buggered off. So there we go. So that's that little plan has been foiled. I don't think we see Sealer again, do we? Can't remember if we see her again. I wonder what happened to her. Did we see her in Resurgence? Star Trek Resurgence? I can't remember. Windgrace will know. It's typing it now. Sealer popped up again in but I can't remember. Anyway, Spock says he's going to stay on Romulus because reunification is going to happen, he says, so he's going to stay there doing his cowboy diplomacy and all that stuff. Picard, we learned that Spock never mind-melded with his dad. I mean, they weren't going around mind-melding with everybody, were Vulcans, but anyway, whatever. He never melded with his father, so Picard allows him to meld with him, because remember, he'd mind-melded with Sarek, so Spock can touch that part of Sarek that remains in Picard, whatever. And he has a nice little moment, there we go. Remembering his dad, whom he loved. Great episode, probably my favourite 2 episodes of season 5, I must admit it is. I think it's better than The Inner Light, which is the penultimate episode of season 5. But Unification is amazing, and I'm sure it's out on Blu-ray or whatever as a movie, but I think it is up there. I think it's as good as some of the movies, although the effects aren't quite as good as a movie either, but they're not far off. Right, moving on. A Matter of Time. Which is this one? I can't bloody remember. Which is this one? Hang on, let me have a look. A Matter of Time. Oh, yes, it's Berlinghoff Rasmussen, isn't it? That's who this one is. Matt Frewer. It's got Max Headroom in this one. Whatever. Right, the Enterprise is going to this planet that stuff's happening. I can't remember what. Oh dear. It's one I'm not a particular fan of, so it doesn't stick in my memory, and I can never remember what's happened in it. Yes, of course, remember now. Yes, the planet's going through, some changes. Anyway, he appears in a ship. I think he appears in a ship that's from the 26th century. I think he says. Does he say 26th century? I think he says that. Yes, he is. That's where he says he's from. I love this one, says Wyngrace. Was written, because you can do a great impression of Matt Frewer. In your videos I've been watching recently, Wyngrace, I'm always thinking you sound just like Matt Frewer. But that's why you like this one, because it's you. Anyway, I don't hate it. I'm just, it's whatever episode for me. Anyway, so they're around at this planet. They've got to work out how to stop it from entering an ice age. So they've got to warm up this planet. So what they're going to do, they're going to just use the phasers to drill big holes in the planet's crust and release gases that will cause a greenhouse effect and warm the planet up. And this fella, who says he's Professor Berlinghoff Rasmussen or whatever they call him, he says he's there just to observe and all that stuff. And they're tempted to ask him about what the future holds. Anyway, they do this thing with the phasers, and it seems to work at first, but then something starts going wrong. Picard he feels forced to ask him, what happened. What does history say about this? And he says, I can't tell you. And he says, okay, whatever. But then we learn, we keep seeing him putting things in his pockets, tricorders and stuff like that. Rasmussen. Max Headroom, I was going to call him that. We see him keep putting things in his pockets. And it turns out he's not from the 26th century at all. His ship is from the 26th century. He stole it. He's from the 22nd century. So he's from like Archer's time-ish. It's from the 22nd century. And the real time traveller from the 26th century. They should have done this in Enterprise, shouldn't they? I wonder if it were Daniels. No, he's from further, isn't he? I think he's from further in the future, I think. The fella from the 26 got trapped there because he stole his ship, and now he's going to the future and he's going to go back in time and sell the artifacts and become rich, like an invent Velcro, just like to Paul's great grandmother or whatever. But they work it out that he's been stealing, and the ship, I think it's on like a automatic timer. He's got to get back on board at a certain time. But I've got a hair there on me. What the hell's going on? Oh, it's there. It's going to disappear at a certain time, and it disappears without him, as we'll see. So he's trapped in the 24th century. Don't know what happens to him. Does he go to prison? Don't know. Does he go to the penal colony in New Zealand that Tom Paris went to? I don't know. I don't know what happens to him. But there you go. The ship's gone to where? I don't know where it's gone. Probably back to the 22nd century, maybe. Maybe the fella whose ship it were originally stood there waiting for it. I don't know. But anyway, so there we go. So he's arrested and off he goes. It's a whatever episode. By the way, they fix the planet. They sort it out. There's Geordie and the others. And everything works out fine for that planet. Yeah. But it's Wyngrace's favourite episode of all time. So there we go. Next episode, number 10. New Ground. Is this the Soliton wave? Is it this one? Yes, it is. And Alexander's having problems. Worf and Alexander are having problems. But they're going to this planet where the scientist has developed a new form of propulsion called the Soliton wave. Yes. Alexander had been sent to Earth, hadn't he, last season to stay with Worf's parents, and they're struggling with him. So his mother, we don't see his father. I don't know why, but his mother's. I think she looks like. I think Marina Sirtis will look like her in like. Well, maybe she looks like her now. I don't know, but she reminds me of an older Marina Sirtis. She's got that Mediterranean look to her, hasn't she? Anyway, whatever. She's bringing Alexander back. She's saying, "I can't cope with this kid. You take care of him." See ya. Basically, that's what she says. So anyway, so this soliton wave thing. She's telling him, we can't cope, blah blah blah. But she's doing it all. We love you, Worf, but your son's a little shit. Look after him. We can't cope. There he goes. He's at school and he's kicking off. There you go. We learn he lies and he steals and all that stuff. But whatever. He's a kid. This is the soliton wave that is showing. Basically, they're going to fire it. A ship rides this soliton wave at warp speed, and so it's warp without a warp engine. Seems problematic to me. It turns out it is, but anyway, the main story, I don't know, is the Alexander story the A plot and the soliton wave's the B plot, or is it the other way around? I don't know. Are they both equal? I don't know, but for me, the more interesting part of this one is the problems with Alexander. And Worf having to come to terms with bringing up a child on his own by himself. But anyway, the soliton wave doesn't work. The ship ends up blowing up. That's riding the wave. It's an unmanned ship that they're testing it with. But that kind of goes wrong, and Worf has got to deal with Alexander and and all that stuff, and it's hard raising a kid. He's the worst father in the galaxy, pretty much, isn't he? He is. But he even thinks about, is it this one or is it another episode? There might be another episode. Even thinks about sending him to a Klingon school. It might be this one. I can't remember. Because he don't want it to do with him, does he? He don't want anything to do with his son. I didn't know you were born. You're son of mine. Give a up. That's what he should have said, shouldn't he? Surely there's some Klingon ritual where they can just, murder their own child if they don't want him anymore. There'll be something, won't there? There'll be some Klingon word for it. Anyway, so the soliton wave doesn't work. Something blows up because of it. Alexander gets caught in this room that we've never seen before. I don't think we see since. But they save him from it, and Riker's got to save this hand puppet that's supposed to be an alien. There's the soliton wave. They've got to shoot photon torpedoes in front of it to make it blow up and then disperse it, because it were headed for another planet and would destroy the planet. So that's back to the drawing board with the soliton wave, isn't it? I suppose. Anyway, so they come to an understanding, that it is this one where we're going to send him away, isn't it, to a Klingon school. He says, no, you don't have to go to a Klingon school. You can stay here, but if you are naughty, I will kill you. He says, he doesn't say that, but I would have done. But anyway, there we go. So love you, Dad. Love you, son. They don't say that, but that's what they're thinking. And off we go. Yeah, so a filler episode for me. But whatever. Moving on. Episode 11, Hero Worship. This is a nice episode. Again, not one of my favourites because it's got kids in it. I don't hate episodes with kids, but the episodes with kids in kind of put me off a bit. I just hate kids, I suppose. But anyway, they come across a ship that's been damaged. There is no Birth class ship. Where is it? There it is. Can't remember what ship it is. But everybody's dead on board apart from one kid. So they go with the beam over and they find this one survivor. And there he is. and Data saves him, and they beam out just in time. So he becomes attached to Data, and he thinks he tells them that they were attacked. The ship were attacked by a ship, and that's what caused all the damage. But later on, he owns up and he says, "It was me." When the ship rocked, the ship hit something. He elbowed or something, or his hand landed on a control panel, and just as that happened, the ship blew up or whatever. And that was just a coincidence. But he thinks it's his fault. And anyway, he starts acting like Data. He can't handle the loss of all the people on that ship, including his parents. And he starts being more like Data, and he starts acting like Data, as we'll see. There he is. For Pete's sake. He starts acting like Data and being emotionless. But anyway, eventually it does come out, and Data got to make him as the best android that he can until he gets it out of his system. So Data's helping him. And it is a nice episode. And obviously, eventually, it does come out, and it does become a boy again. But the Enterprise becomes trapped in this nebula that's got these weird energy things in, and that's what destroyed the other ship. And it's the kid that gives them the clue how to escape. They keep increasing the shields, and he says they said that. More power to the shields. They said that before the big explosion happened. So Data says, drop the shields. So they drop the shields, and it stops the energy thing from building up. And they're all okay. And I don't know what happens to him. I suppose I think they drop him off at a star base. He's probably got family somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, there we go. So that's that one. It's okay. I don't mind it. Next episode. Violations. Oh, this is one with the memory people, isn't it? Because it's a Deanna Troi one, so there we are. I'm not bothered about it. Here they are. They collect memories and store them, for posterity, I suppose. But one of them attacks Deanna Troi and putting people. That's it. They're putting people in comas. That's it. And eventually he goes after Deanna Troi. I think Riker's in a coma, and some other people are in comas, and obviously these are the prime suspects. These people who've just come aboard, and we know who it is. We know it's him. I'm not going to land on him. Him there. There he is. You see in the little picture over there. We know it's him. But it puts blame to his father, the older person, and so they accuse him. And but anyway, they suss out that it's not him. I can't remember what the other story is, because we can see Data and Geordi, and they're investigating as this happened on other planets, and it's them that work out that other people ended up in comas when these people were there. But the last time, the father, the older one, wasn't there, so they know it's the younger one. It's the son. So there we go. Yeah, it's and they take him back, and they're having a fight and stuff, whatever. And it's sorted out. Yeah, moving on. Again, that might be my least favourite then, Violations, because it's Deanna Troi and I don't like it. Next up, the Masterpiece Society. Is this the one with I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't know. I might be wrong. They come across. No, it isn't. I'm thinking of something else. They come across an Earth colony on a planet that they didn't know was there, and the kind of, I don't know. They're not augments, but the kind of eugenics thing's gone on. Selective breeding has gone on. So I don't know if they're leftovers from the eugenics wars or people that agreed with eugenics that I don't know, but they're all from this colony, and so they've got to save them from something. I can't actually remember what they're saving them from. I've forgotten. This is another May episode. Let's have a look. What's up with this? Stellar car fragment. That's it. It's on its way. It's going to hit them or pass near them. They've got to, I think, got to the deflect it so it doesn't bother them anymore. But Deanna Troy and him kind of fall in love, I suppose. I don't know. But one of them goes on board the Enterprise. She does, and I'm sure she's been on something on Star Trek before, or something. But she doesn't want to go back. She wants to do what she wants to do. Geordie talks to her about, she says, you're blind, Geordie. In our society, you would never have been born. Because stuff like that's bred out of them. Or genetically engineered out of them. But like I said, they're not augments, I don't think, but they're just bred for certain tasks. So they all know what they're going to do. And she don't want that anymore, and other people want to leave as well. So anyway, so they're going to break up the society and blah blah blah, whatever. And some of them leave, and some of them don't. They come to a compromise and whatever, and they stop the stellar core fragment. I think they use the tractor beam or something. I don't know, whatever. It's okay. It's not the best episode ever. It's not the worst. It's just a mid-season episode. it exists. It's it's whatever. Next up, Conundrum, top episode. I love this one. Although it doesn't make a whole amount of sense, but anyway, that's me. This is the one where they encounter a wormhole. A what hole? A wormhole. Oh, wow, this is where we learn that Deanna is amazing at chess and she can beat Data at chess. Yeah, right. But and she says something along the lines of, chess is not just about logic. Says, shut up. She couldn't beat Data at chess, even on his worst day, but she does. Yeah. She's some character that we've never seen before. She's been in the holodeck diving and hurt herself. I thought you couldn't hurt yourself in the holodeck. I don't know, but anyway, she's hurt herself, and so Beverly's fixing her. Ensign Rowe and Riker are falling out. Obviously, because they're always arguing. They don't really get on. But anyway. Right, so what's happening? Then Data ends up in... because she's beating him at chess, he's got to make her whatever that drink is. When he bing the glass, it makes that happen. Anyway, hang on, where are we? Data gets called to the bridge. I see I've gone too far. Data gets called to the bridge. They encounter a probe or something. See, I've gone too far. Not far enough. Where is it? There's a flash or whatever. Where are we? It's not showing it, is it? It does like a scan or something. No, hang on. There we go. Does that. And then suddenly they can't remember who they are. They don't know who they are. What's going on? But then we suddenly see there's a new officer on the bridge. Here we go. As the camera pans round, there's this other commander there, full commander, who is a pretty cool. I'd like to have seen him in more Star Trek. Maybe he has been in more, but I think he plays a really good part in this. And I can't remember who the hell he is. Bear with me. Kira McDuff is the character name. Eric Anderson. What else has he been in? Over at Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Bat 21, and that is most famous stuff he's been in. But anyway, Commander Kira McDuff, who is the first officer, and Riker's been demoted to second officer, we learn. But anyway, they can't remember who they are. By the way, human mind or human memory or whatever must be really easy to manipulate, because it happens a couple of times this season by cultures, civilizations that are technologically way less advanced than the Federation at this time, but whatever. Anyway, so they can't remember who they are, so they've got to work out what's going on. He looked poorly then, didn't he? So they can't remember, and Worf kind of takes command because he's got a sash. Because he's got his baldric, so he assumed I must be the captain, so he starts giving orders. But they're trying to work out who everybody is, and they eventually get into the computer and learn that he's the captain, and we learn that Kieran McDuff is the first officer, and William Riker's the second officer, and Ro Laren's the helms person. Although she's not in it very often. We see another, there's an actress called Sheila Franklin. I think she appears in more episodes at the helm. I don't even know the name of her character. But she appears in more episodes than Michelle Forbes at the helm of the Enterprise. But anyway, so they learn that they're at war. They say the Federation is at war with the Lycian Alliance. And they've got to go and destroy the Lycian command centre or whatever. So they've got to head there and do all that, but also overcome they've no memories of who they are. And so Riker ends up shagging Ro, even though they hate each other. And she says, "Oh, it's exciting, isn't it?" Anyway. And even Data's affected by it. Even Data has no memories. They come across a Lycian battle cruiser and forced to destroy it. So Picard's not happy about that. So they carry on with the mission, even though they have misgivings over what's going on. They still haven't got the memories back. So anyway, they're heading to Lycian space. Dr. Crusher says, I might have a way to get his memories back. So she says, I've got this thing I can do, this magic thing. And Kieran McDuff says, I'll volunteer. And then as she starts doing the thing, he starts spazzing out and going, "Ugh," and she stops and says, "Oh, we might have lost you." And then he looks away and smiles, because we know he's a baddie, really. Anyway, so they get into Lycian territory. Kieran McDuff goes and speaks to Worf and says, the captain's having misgivings. It might be up to us to complete this mission. So they get to Lycian space, and there we go. They find the Lycian command center, which is the same thing as that we saw in, can't remember the episode. It was like a slightly out of phase thing that these aliens were watching over this planet last season, wasn't it? And we saw it in a weird. We didn't see it. It didn't look solid, did it? It was slightly out of phase. I can't remember the episode, but they're just using that model again, aren't they? But this is the Lycian command centre. But we learn it's hardly got any weapons, and there's 15,000 people on board. And they say one photon torpedo would destroy it. They easily destroyed some Lycian ships, whatever. I don't know, mines. I don't know, whatever. And we learn that they've outclassed the Lycian defences at every encounter. And Picard says, "I'm not killing innocent people," and he says, "Yes, you are," and he says, "I'm taking over," but they don't. And so anyway, the fire, he's gonna, oh, Pete's sake. He's going to fire, and then they shoot. Oh, look, he looks different when they shoot him with the phaser. He looks like some weird alien. It turns out he's a Sataran, and they're the ones that are at war with the Lycians. Even though they've got super duper technology to affect the human mind, their weapons are no more advanced than the Lycians. But so then, anyway, they get their memories back, and everything's fine. And Picard says to the Lycians, "Sorry, we had to destroy that ship. We didn't know what we were doing." So anyway. There we go. Riker's thinking, "I shagged Ro." Oh, God. And there we go. The end. A good episode, though. I like Conundrum. It's a fun episode, and I like Kieran McDuff, and I want to see more of him, even though he wasn't a real Starfleet officer. It shows that you can just bring in other actors, and they can do Star Trek, and I like it. But anyway, moving on, episode 15. Power Play, another one I like. Kind of a bottle show, a simple. Quite a lot of bottle shows in season 5, to be honest. They don't go many places, do they, in season 5? Do they? Am I lying? I am, aren't I? They've been all over, haven't they? But there seems to be a lot more shipboard episodes. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But anyway, they arrive at, I can't remember the name of the planet. Well, it's a moon orbiting Moab 4 or something, I think. I can't remember. Go on, tell us. Unexplored M-class moon. Go on, tell us. Show us. There we go. Mabu 6. There we go. Or Mabu 6. But that's got a name as well, but I can't remember what it is. Does it say Mabu 6? Oh, I thought the moon had a name as well, but it doesn't tell us. Doesn't tell us. Anyway, the detector signal from the USS Essex, which is a Daedalus class ship, which I've got one here. It's upstairs. Which is the starships that don't have a saucer section. They have a globe. Pardon me, and they look rubbish. But they were like, early starships, even though we'd had the NX-01, which looks more like a proper starship, with the saucer section. And for some reason, they went to these Daedalus class ones, which have globes. But we did see the Olympic class in All Good Things at the end of season 7, which were a futuristic Daedalus class. But anyway, whatever. Right, so they're detecting the signal from the USS Essex, a distress call from like 172 years in the past or whatever. So, but they detect signs of life in the storms of the moon. So they send a shuttle down, because they can't beam down. So they send a shuttle down to the area where they detected where the signal's coming from, but they can't. They've got to head back. Oh no, the crash. I've just remembered. They crashed the shuttle, and I think Riker's broken his arm. That's it. And then they see a storm coming. It's going to show it. Oh, for Pete's sake! Bloody hell, Netflix! Let me go on the bit I want to go on. And she says, they're coming in the storm. Not landing on it, is it? Christ's sake. There we go. Bloody hell. There you go. She says, they're coming in the storm. And this is a bit like what we saw in, is it? Windgrace will probably say I'm wrong. That episode of Strange New Worlds. I can't remember the name of the episode. But in that, there were like life forms in the atmosphere that were attacking them, weren't they? In Strange New Worlds, and it's a similar sort of thing, maybe. But anyway, that's by the by. Anyway, so can't beam them back. So Chief O'Brien says, "I'll beam down with some transport enhancers. I know the risks. I'm going down." So down he goes, beams down. Hang on. Too far. Sets up the pattern enhancers, and but when he does that, there we go. They all get knocked out, and then these little lighty things come. Look, wee, and they go into Data and Chief O'Brien and Deanna Troi, and then this one, it just flies away. Look, it don't go in. Look, it just not that one. That one. It flies away. It doesn't go into him. And he wakes up, and he's the one that beams them out. He turns on the transporter thing. There it is, and the beam up automatically, it seems. So there we go. Anyway, what's happened is that these aliens who say they are the ghosts of the crew of the USS Essex have inhabited. It's a story about possession, I suppose. Have inhabited the bodies of Diana Troy and Data and Chief O'Brien, and they're not nice people. They're trying to take control of the Enterprise. Here they are. Look, they're trying to take control. They're trying to move the Enterprise to the southern polar region. They end up in 10 forward with hostages. There we go. Keep going on. She's in 10 forward again, by the way. It's Keiko. She's always in 10 forward. Look, there's Patricia Tallman. There she is. Been in loads of Star Trek, hasn't she? There we go. Having a phaser battle with them. We learned that phasers don't really work on them for some reason. But Keiko and Molly are in 10 forward. She's always taking her kid to the pub. Anyway. So they've got hostages in 10 forward of Data and O'Brien and Deanna. And she says that she is Captain Bryce Schumer of the USS Essex. And she says the others are, other crewmen. And that the rest of the crew is trapped in the storm. Their essence is trapped in the storm. And they want beaming out so they can be laid to rest properly or whatever. Anyway, they ask why didn't Riker get possessed by him? Because he'd broken his arm, he were in pain. So they work out that if they induce pain in them, the aliens will leave. So they're going to use like a high frequency thing and they can go, ah! And but that doesn't work. Meanwhile, O'Brien is being horrible to Keiko because the baby's crying and all that stuff. And she's saying, no. He's threatening to kill her and all this stuff. Anyway, so all the stuff that they do doesn't work, and they keep going back in. The aliens keep coming out and going back into them and all that stuff. Anyway, they end up in the cargo bay, and they're going to beam out the other entities from the storm, and to beam them into the cargo bay. And then Picard, I don't know, talks them out of it for whatever reason, and beams them back. He says, you just got to go back because for. But and so they do, and they beam them back to the storm, and they said, "Don't come this way again." Okay, see ya, and that's it. And they weren't the crew of the Essex. They were like imprisoned there, a million years ago, whatever. So there we go. That's it. Picard talks them out of it. What does it say? It's a penal colony. They're trapped in a containment field. There we go. Picard threatens to blow the cargo bay hatch and kill the prisoner entities and themselves. How do they know that? I don't know, but anyway. And that's when they decide, okay, we won't do it. How do they know it'd kill them, though? Because they're not corporeal things. They're like energy, aren't they? They might be fine in space. Who knows? But anyway, there we go. Power play. It's a good episode, but whatever. It's fine. I do quite enjoy it. Marina Sirtis is still a rubbish actress. She can't play a bad guy to save her life. She's walking about trying to look tough. Yeah, whatever. Moving on next. Episode 16. Ethics. This is the one where Worf gets injured and he just feels sorry for himself. Look, these are the baddies in this. I'm just on that bit, aren't I? Look, he's going to get splattered. By a big barrel. Look, big old tough Worf taken out by a bit of plastic. Didn't it look that bad, did it? Worf! Anyway, so he's got injuries to his spinal column, so he just wants, Klingon suicide and all that stuff. But this doctor comes on board. Another actress looks really familiar, but she's done some experimental research that they can replicate a new spinal column and a spinal cord for him. And this is the episode where we learn that Klingons have lots of redundancies. They don't have multiple organs. They have like redundancies. I mean, they do say they have extra organs, but they're not really there working all the time. They're just there in case something goes wrong. They're there until, say, your liver packs in or something like that. They've got like a redundant liver that, while your normal liver repairs itself, that keeps you going. They don't have two knobs. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Don't listen to Star Trek Discovery. They don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, so she's going to... we learn that this doctor... where is she? There she is. Not going to show her, is it? Never mind. She's fast and loose with her research, and Beverly doesn't like her. So she stops her doing the surgery on Worf, and Worf's they're saying to Worf, you can use these special things on your legs and you can walk about like a robot. A full 55-gallon drum weighs about 455 pounds. That could crush your spine from that height. It didn't look it though, did it? And it bounced off him. You could tell it were empty. So I don't think it were full. But anyway. But, for the sake of the show, we'll say it were full. It didn't look it, did it? Anyway, she reluctantly, Picard kind of tells her, just let her do it. Let her do the surgery. So that's what they're going to do. So they're going to do the surgery on her and on him, and swap out his spine. But he'd asked Riker, by the way, to kill him. Well, not kill him, but do this ritual where he hands him the knife, and Worf can kill himself. But he said, "No, I'm not going to do that." Anyway, they do the swap out his spine and his spinal cord, and then Worf dies, and poor Alexander's sad. And I was hoping they were going to do the Klingon thing, but he don't, because, whatever. But then Worf comes back to life, like magic. See, they just, hang on, I've gone past it. No, I think he's still dead here. She's filling out a death certificate, I think, is she? No, he does come back here, doesn't he, at the end? Yes, he does wake up. So, yeah, he comes back. Because all his redundancies kicked in and saved his life. And huzzah. Hooray for, Klingon overcompensation. But anyway, he says, I still don't like you, to that other doctor, because, you're too fast and loose, and, and all that. And Worf is learning to walk again with his new spine. And he even gets Alexander to help him, and there you go, the bit of bonding, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It's an okay episode, I suppose. It's an okay episode. But it's still the worst dad in the galaxy. And that barrel wasn't full. Didn't look it to me. I'm going to watch it again. I want to watch that barrel bounce off Worf. Here it comes. Are you ready? Here it comes. Ah! Doing. That was empty, wasn't it? Anyway, moving on. Episode 17, The Outcast. Ooh, the controversial episode, is it? We will see. They've gone to this planet. I can't remember why. For whatever reason. But it's a planet of people who are all the same gender. A hermaphroditic society, I suppose you could say. Not hermaphroditic, what I'm talking about. They've no gender. What's the phrase? What does it say? Androgynous, that's the word. Androgynous, not hermaphroditic. They haven't got both. Well, I don't know, it doesn't say. Maybe they have. But the Janai, they're called. And when I heard it, without the subtitles, I thought, hang on, there is Stargate Atlantis, the Janai, but it's spelt differently. But anyway, they've no gender. They're all the same. And we even have a little bit in it where Riker is in a shuttle with the this person. I can't remember the name of the character. Hang on, where are we? Is it Soren? Yes, Soren. Not Soren from Star Trek Generations, a different one. Anyway, they kind of fall in love, even though they're genderless, but they all kind of look like women. The ones that we see, they're all obviously played by women. But anyway, and this one here, I don't know her name, but the actress is in. I remember her from Deep Space Nine. She played a Romulan in Deep Space Nine. I don't know who she is, but she's got a very distinctive voice. Hang on, let's listen. Oh, for Pete's sake! I was just the end bit in it.
Resources we can provide are yours.
Yeah. The resources you can provide are yours. But anyway. Cool shuttles, by the way. I'm glad I hate those little poxy little shuttles. I like proper shuttles like that. Anyway. I think, is this the part where they're talking about how does he refer to her? You know, to it. He said, do I call you it? You know, he and she and all that stuff. Does it say it here? No. Oh, there we go. Right. I'm just going to play it.
For 2 days, I've been trying to construct sentences without personal pronouns. Now I give up. What should I use? It? To us, that's rude.
We use a pronoun that is neutral. I do not think there is really a translation.
Well, then I'll just have to muddle through. So forgive me if the stray he or she slips by, okay?
See, that's sensible, isn't it? And she's fine. It's fine with that. They are fine. No they, them here, is there? No, theys or whatever's the current thing. But let's just... If anybody goes on here, just play that clip. Just play that bit. Anyway, so they obviously fall in love. By the way, she identifies as female. I'm going to say she, because obviously she identifies... I wonder what they'd have done with the story if it had been male and fallen in love with him. They'd do that now, wouldn't they? In Kurtzman Trek, they'd do that now. It'd be a male that fell in love with the human male. And it'd be fine. And, whatever. But that's what they'd do now. But anyway, it was still, it was controversial at the time. And anyway, so the upshot is she wants to be... I think she requests asylum, on the Enterprise. Because she identifies as female. She says she's always known all her life that she's female. She says there are others, but the identified, if the authorities find them, they basically brainwash them or give them some sort of surgery, lobotomise them, so that they fall back into being gender neutral. And it is quite sad, I suppose, at the end. And they've obviously done the she goes to trial and all that, and she tries to plead for, I am a female. And Riker comes in and tries to plead her case and says, she can come with us, look, and say, no, she's got to go and have the surgery. And he's obviously not happy about it. And he goes back down. He's going to help her escape. Worf's going to help him. So they beam down, they help her, they grab her, and they help her escape. But it's too late because they've already done the surgery on her, and she'd say, no, it's fine, it was my mistake, and I'm super happy now. And Riker says, oh, well, whatever. And goes back to the Enterprise, and is a bit sad for a bit, but it'll be fine next episode. It's a good episode, I must admit, it is a good episode. It makes you think, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what Star Trek's all about. Making you think and not lecturing you, because it doesn't lecture you. It offers alternative explanations and alternative viewpoints, and you make up your own mind. So that's what the Outcast does. Good episode. Moving on. Cause and Effect. Really good episode. Lots of genre series have these sort of Groundhog Day episodes, don't they? I don't know when Groundhog Day came out. I don't know when this season came out, but before this or after. Anyway, this is the one where the Enterprise is reliving the same day, whatever, over and over. It begins with the Enterprise exploding. There we go. Boom, with a not great model explosion. But never mind. And then we go, it blows up, and then we go to the credits. I'm like, what the bloody hell's going on here? So anyway, oops. So, playing cards, and we just repeat the same thing over and over. And it turns out the Enterprise is in a loop, a time loop. And the Enterprise gets destroyed, and then it starts again. I say it's Groundhog Day. But they're getting clues as to what's going on. There's like things seeping in from the other loops. So they realise some stuff's going on. But mate, they get deja vu. You know, they realise all that jazz. 1993, what? This season, but it's 1993, over at Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day was 1990. Oh, this is 1991, isn't it? So this was first. So I think Harold Ramis saw this episode and thought, I'm going to do a film like that, and called it Groundhog Day. Because this was 1991, wasn't it? Anywho, where were we? Oh, right. So the workout that the Enterprise are going to be destroyed somehow. Beverly keeps hearing voices in her cabin, and she records it, and Data analyses it, says it's the voices of the crew, and we learn that Picard orders them to abandon ship. Kind of panicked. All hands abandon ship! All hands abandon ship! Like that. But they've got to work out what to do, and this is where they encounter an anomaly, and something emerges from the anomaly. If I land on it, for Pete's sake, there it is. Something emerges from the anomaly. It's obviously a starship. For Pete's sake. There we go. But they don't say that. You know, they say, oh, look, it's a Miranda class or Miranda variant. It's a Soyuz class, we learn at the end. But they use the tractor beam to try and divert it, but it doesn't work. Make it true, Mr. Worf. Riker suggests that they decompress the main shuttle bay, and that'll push them out of the way. Because I think the anomalies cause power to go down, so there's no thrusters or impulse engines or anything. So that's why Riker suggests decompressing the shuttle bay. But Data says, no, use the tractor beam. And everybody believes Data because, well, he's Data, isn't he? So they use the tractor beam. There we go. But it doesn't work. Oh, no. And it hits the warp nacelle, and then the ship blows up. So they discover that they can send a message back through Data's interplexing beacon. I don't know, whatever. And Data says, you know, I would receive it in like subconscious ways, so just like a word. So the next time it happens, Data realizes it's not going well. Hang on, where are we? So he sends. Hang on, where are we? Have I gone too far? No, see, we're on the right bit now. When it blows up, he's got a little thing sending a message, and he sends a message. And then they all start seeing the number 3 throughout the ship, and then Data realizes the next time the mysterious ship emerges from the anomaly, he decompresses the shuttle bay instead of using he sees 3, and then reckons that 3 is the 3 in 1993 is the number of pips on Commander Riker's collar. So he says, all right, we've got to do the shuttle bay thing. So that's what he does, and that moves the Enterprise out of the way. It saves everybody. And then we learn that it's the USS Bozeman, a Soyuz-class starship, which is obviously a Miranda-class variant. But that's been stuck in the loop for, 87 years or whatever, I don't know. A long time, since the late 23rd century. Under the command of Kelsey Grammer. There he is. I forgot the bloody name. Windgrace is telling me now. Come on, tell us his name. Morgan Bateson, there we go. Windgrace is just typing it in now and just hitting send. It's going to pop up now. Morgan Bateson. And apparently, I think, did he pop up with the books and stuff like that, or the comics or whatever? He's re-emerged again, hasn't he, in Star Trek? But it'd be nice to see, it would have been nice to see more of them in Star Trek, but we didn't, did we? Not on screen, anyway. But anyway, so there we go. And we learn that, they're stuck now, aren't they, in the... he waited, look. He was in lower decks. I can't remember. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. But anywho, there we go. Why has he got a big, massive gun? Is it a battleship? Oh dear. Looks like a big gun, doesn't it? It probably isn't. It's probably some sensor array or something. No voice. Did he have no voice in it? I can't remember. But anyway, that's a good episode. So they're now stuck in the 24th century. So they're out of time, just like USS Discovery in the 32nd century. But anyway, so there we go. Cause and Effect, great episode. Next up, The First Duty. Oh, this is the one with he and Tuvok helped Freeman. Who and Tuvok? Don't know. I can't actually remember that. Obviously, I've watched all the lower decks. I can't really remember that episode. But anyway. Ooh. Anyway, where were we? First Duty, right. So, Enterprise is heading back to Earth to Sector 001. They're always going back to Earth, by the way, Season 5. Well, they do a couple of times. But they never say how long it takes them to get there. See you later, Josh. Yes, you'll have a great evening too. We're nearly done here. What we're on? I forgot what we're on. 19, aren't we? So we're nearly done. We're getting there. Captain Bateson against the pack lead. Oh, right. Can't remember. Honestly, can't remember. Anyway, they're heading back to Earth, and what was I saying? Because they're out on the frontier or whatever, aren't they? And they seem to get back to Earth in no time at all, don't they? It'd take not months, wouldn't it? I don't know, but anyway, maybe even years. Never mind. So they're heading back to Earth for the is doing a commencement address at Starfleet Academy, and we learn that there's been an accident. There we go, another admiral. There's been an accident. A cadet has been killed on the flight range, and one of Wesley Crusher's squad, because he's in Nova Squad, who are the best of the best, and then I don't know, in Deep Space Nine they became Red Squad, didn't they? But I don't know. Maybe after this they changed the name from Nova to Red Squad. But anyway, so. Now it's an investigation about that. What went wrong with this flight trade? They were doing they're going to do a flight. What do they call it now? When aeroplanes do aerobatics and stuff. They're going to do something like that. They're out at Academy. Notice the flags at half mast. I thought that was a nice touch because we see it again later in the series, and the flag's back up at the top again. So. Anyway, here we are at Starfleet Academy in San Francisco, and there's obviously some sort of hearing. One boy died, Josh Albert, and there's Beverly checking on Wes. He says, "I'm fine, it's just a bit sore." And then Tom Paris arrives. Hang on, where is he? There he is. It's not Tom Paris, though, it's Nick Locarno. It was supposed to be Tom Paris, wasn't it, in Star Trek Voyager? It's supposed to be Nick Locarno in Star Trek Voyager, but they decided against it and made a new character. And he would appear in Lower Decks. I do remember that one. Anyway, so where we meet Boothby. Picard goes to see Boothby, the groundsman who's super wise and helps everybody, and he's been there for 1,000,000 years. He's probably an alien, but don't tell us that. But anyway, so anyways, where we're learning that the lying about what happened. They were supposed to do a Jaeger loop or whatever, but they were going to do something that's been banned. They were going to do a Colvard starburst or something like that, where they ignite their plasma trails, and it looks spectacular. But it were banned because last time it were tried in the 23rd century, they all died. But there's Ceto, who would become Ensign Ceto on the Enterprise, and she dies. Spoilers. Which is very sad. And we also she popped up in Lower Decks as well, didn't she? They got the voice actress came out of retirement, didn't she, to do it? Anyway, so they basically all lie about what happened, and Geordie and Data are doing their own investigation, and obviously Wesley's feeling bad about it, but Nick Locarno's saying if we stick to our story, it'll be fine, and all that stuff. And Wesley's racked with guilt, and all that stuff. And Picard susses it out because the Data and Geordie find out that that plasma vents or something were open, and says, "Oh, that's what they were going to do. They're going to do a Colvard starburst." And so he confronts Wesley about it, and Wesley says, "I don't know what you're talking about. I can't say anything." And so he gives him the first rule of being a Starfleet officer is to tell the truth and all that stuff. So anyway, so they go back again to the hearing, and she's about to say, "I think you're lying," is the Admiral. "I think you're lying, but I can't prove that you're lying, so I'm just going to have to say this was a weird accident, and you're all getting off scot-free." And then Wesley stands up and says, "No, we were going to do this other thing, and it all went wrong." And Josh, because they're going to blame Josh for getting out of formation, says it wasn't Josh's fault, it was just a terrible thing that happened. And so there. And so they're going to get punished, and Nick kind of takes the blame for it and gets drummed out of Starfleet. He doesn't go to New Zealand like Tom Paris did, but he gets drummed out of Starfleet. Maybe he joins the Maquis at some point, who knows. Gets expelled from the academy. And what's it Data for? And Wesley has got to stay back a year. So he's in the remedial class now. And there we go. So he's not the Wunderkind anymore, really. We learn that he's a flawed character, and I don't know when we see him again. When do we see him again? I can't remember. Surely it's not season 7. He must pop up in season 6 at some point, but I can't remember. I'm thinking, but do we see him again in the episode with the Native Americans, that one, where the Traveller comes back, doesn't he? Surely we must see him, because that's season 7, isn't it? I'm sure it is. We must see him at the end of season 7 as well. We must see him before that. Is that Captain Kirk bust there? Is it, you reckon? I don't know. Anyway. Don't know. But there we go. So that's First Duty, where we learn that Wesley's a lying little bugger. But anyway, they shake hands and off he goes. Next up. Episode 20, Cost of Living. Which is this one? Why can't I remember? I can tell you the bloody titles. Which one's... Oh, it's a Luxana Troy one, which is quite... I don't know. Is it a good one? No, it ain't. It's not a good one. The other one was Half a Life. I liked that one, but I'm not a big fan of this one. Anyway. Go on, wait. Oh, there we go. Not weird. Oh, excuse me. They're the fiery photon torpedoes at, I don't know, asteroid or something. They're saving a planet. Anyway. Right. So, Luxana Troy comes aboard, and we learn that she's getting married. But what's going on with... Worf and Alexander are still having problems. Alexander's not obeying Worf's rules. And so Deanna says, well, maybe you've both got to have rules. And I'd be saying, if I were the father, say, no, I set the rules. I am the dad. If he doesn't obey him, he's going to get a clip round the ear. But no, it's the 24th century and everybody's got to be nice to each other. Blah, blah, blah. Then Luxana Troy comes aboard. And getting married to a man I've never met. And she's going to wear a wedding dress. She's not going to be naked. And because that's what the other fella wants. But then she takes Alexander to the holodeck and they go to this annoying place where a fella goes like that. And they're going to sit in some mud baths and stuff, and the fella that's juggling, and I don't know, it does me head in. So, she basically met him on Tinder, this fella that she's going to marry. He's an important person on this other planet. And he's sending his mother's wedding dress. That's what she's wearing there. I'm going to show it. There it is. And she's changed her hair as well. And then at the end, we meet the fella. There he is. And he's very, he's stuck in his ways. Yes, hate the bubble, yeah. Worf deals with it well, doesn't he? It kind of reminds me of the Voyager episodes. Where, with Naomi, what's the face? They've got a similar thing on the holodeck with that, haven't they? But anyway, pardon me. Right, so obviously they're still having problems. She's having second thoughts, obviously. He wants to marry her because she's Luxana Troy, and she's a cougar, isn't she? And probably in his eyes, I don't know. But he thinks she's important on Beta's head, which I suppose she is. I can't remember what this story here is. I've forgotten. It don't really matter. Yes, the Flotter. Yes, them. I hate them on Voyager. What's going on here? Something's up with the Enterprise. I can't remember what. They destroyed an asteroid, that were it, and some like sparkly stuff went into the Enterprise. Yes, and it's like a life form, and it's eating away at a certain sort of metal in the Enterprise, and that's what it is. It's putting the Enterprise at risk. Where are we? It'll tell us if I look on here, probably. Infected nitrium. There we go. It's looking for nitrium. This parasite, and it's lots of nitrium in the Enterprise, and it's if it keeps on, these parasites will end up destroying the Enterprise. But he's lost his juggling balls. Whatever, don't care. So they've got to work out a way. They can't get rid of the parasites, so they've got to head back to the asteroid field from whence the asteroid came originally and hope that the parasite buggers off, which it does, thankfully. There they go. They send an energy beam laced with nitrium that sends the parasites out. So they save the Enterprise that way. So they're getting ready for the wedding. Here they are. They're all getting ready, waiting for Luxana to arrive, and she arrives naked and smiling, with a small child present. Look, and he's like thinking, "Oh, crikey, I can see a naked old lady." And she just winks at him, and I thought, I know it's the 24th century, but kids shouldn't have been there, should they? He's obviously not impressed. So this guy can't marry you, and he goes and. Why didn't she just tell him, I don't want to marry you, instead of going through all this rigmarole? It was a mistake. I didn't want to marry you. But no, got to make it so that he's the stuffy one. She's wondering about in the hate. Moving on. The perfect mate. Here we go. This is the Famke Janssen episode. It's also got Dr. Hewer from Buck Rogers in the 25th century, Tim O'Connor, not to be confused with popular 70s and early 80s Irish comedian Tom O'Connor. Ho ho! But you don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the taking I forgot the name of the species. It doesn't say. Hang on. Creosians or something like that. Yes, Creosian. Crikey, I remembered. A Creosian ambassador is going to another planet called, I can't remember, Valtian. Valt. To end a war that's been going on. So they're taking that. Oh, and they rescue some Ferengi. Here's Max Grodenchik. Pops up regularly. He always has the same teeth as well. Have you noticed? All these different Ferengis he's played, they've all had this one tooth that sticks out for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, so I mean, at first I thought this other one was I forgot his name now. That plays his son in Deep Space Nine, but it isn't. It's somebody else. They call him now Eisenberg, not that one, not Jesse. It's another one, isn't it? I forgot his name now. Aaron, is it Aaron Eisenberg? I thought it were him, but it isn't. Anyway, they want to see this ambassador that's in stasis. They've recreated the thing for the talks on the holodeck. There you go. The Ferengi want to look at the what's going on. This thing here. There we go. And he knocks a barrel into it. These barrels are a menace, aren't they, on the Enterprise? Save money to do a new mould. I don't know. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh yes, teeth. Yes, his teeth. Yes, his teeth. Well, yeah, because they'll fit him, won't they? So, but anyway. What was I saying? Yes, he knocks a barrel and it stops this, and it falls over. There's this. It's some sort of cryo suspension thing, and here we go. Out comes Famke Janssen. There she is as Kamala, not Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris. She's just Kamala. She's not a Trill. She's a Creosian. I actually looked it up. I thought I'm going to find out if they've decided on anything, and I typed in, are the Creosians and Trill related? And apparently they're not, because they do have different patterns. The patterns, although they're similar, they are different to the Trill that we see in Deep Space Nine and beyond. Not the Trill that we saw in the episode The Host, not that one. But anyway, there she is, the lovely Famke Janssen. Have I got it here still? She's still in me. In me clips. Where are you? Where are you, Famke? There we go.
Oh, Stephen. You poor, clueless old geek.
She knows I'm a geek. Anyway, where were we? So she pops up. She's the gift to the Valtian ambassador or whatever. And she instantly falls in love with everybody. She's a bit like a Delton, I suppose. Bumphead Trill are from the north. Yes, probably are. Yeah. Or south. I don't know, has it ever been brought up? I haven't looked it up on, Memory Alpha or Memory Beta. I've never looked it up about the explanation about the Trills. Has it? I don't think it's ever been brought up on screen, has it? But anyway, there she looks. She's giving Riker a good old tongue down the throat, and but anyway, everybody can't help falling in love with her or whatever. But she bonds with or imprints or whatever on Picard, and so there's all this problems with that. She's super clever, by the way. She's not just a sex thing, but. They've got to work out, how to get through this, his feelings for her and all that, and do the right thing and stop this war, and it's all gonna work out and all that stuff. Whatever. Yeah, it's just an episode just so we can look at the lovely Famke Janssen, and she is very lovely, and that's it. And Picard gives her away at the wedding, and. Yeah, off they go. Yeah, whatever. I says to her, hang on, watch credit. I've got to watch credits. I have to go back. That ship as well. Oh, poo. Tim O'Connor says to her, You know, you worked so close with you. How did you control yourself? Basically, why didn't you ravish her? And Picard's like, yeah, how did how did you not ravish her? He's saying, but anyway. And then we see the ship. There it is. Is that the same as, I forgot the bloody thing now. It's like the beginning of season 4. Is it Talarian? I get mixed up. There was that kid, that human kid, wasn't there? I can't remember. Almost Human was the episode, I think we're called. And there was that human kid that were raised by, I think, were Talarians. I think it's just the same ship in it. Because at this point, they were still using a lot of models, weren't they? Yeah, there was CG used in it, like Silicon Entity and all that stuff. Tin Man, etc. Not Tin Man, Galaxy's Child. But a lot of the ships were still models, weren't they? And got reused a lot. So I think that's a Talarian ship, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so there we go. Perfect, mate. A perfectly okay episode, mostly because Famke Janssen is just as enormous screen presence. I'm a big fan of Famke Janssen, but anyway. Justin 34 says, great episode. Picard is up there with Kirk, with the great ladies, in my opinion. They all fall for him, don't they? It must, because he's just oozing charisma into his bald head. And his veiny arms, which we're going to come to later on. Anyway, there we go. Next up, Imaginary Friend. This is an okay episode. I don't mind it. We get a little girl called Clara, who I think is quite new on the Enterprise. She's got an imaginary friend called, I think, Isabella, I think. And her dad, as an ensign, is worried. Her mother died, I think in a shuttle accident, I think she says, or something. She died anyway. So it's another only child on the Enterprise. And she's got an imaginary friend called Isabella, and her dad's worrying about it. And Deanna says, oh, it's nothing to worry about, you know, she'll grow out a bit, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, meanwhile, the Enterprise is entering Vija, or is it the Mutara Nebula, whatever. That made just a different colour. And we're going to see that something's going to arrive any minute now. I've probably gone past it, knowing me. So anyway, they're entering... Oh, there she is. That's Sheila Franklin. I don't know the name of the... Does he say? Oh, hang on. Oh, it's always just too far, isn't it? Right. No, just don't say a name. Don't say a name. I'm going to look it up. What does she have a name? Sheila Franklin. She's there several episodes. Star Trek. Right, who does she play? Recurring role of Ensign Felton in the 5th season. How many episodes was he in? What did it say? 5. She was in 5 episodes, I think, of TNG. Does it say? Yeah, 5 5th season episodes of TNG. How many were Ensign Rowe in? I'm going to have to know now. I'm going to have to check that. Ensign Rowe. Right, we'll roll Aaron. How many episodes of TNG was she in? Does it say? I don't want to know all about a child. I don't know how many bloody episodes she were in. Bloody hell. Memory Alpha's crap at some things, isn't it? It should just be there at your fingertips. How many episodes she's been in. Played by Michelle Forbes. Let's try this one. She were in 8 episodes altogether. Hang on, though. Oh, yeah, 8 episodes, so she were in more than... but that would have more than one season. But anyway, whatever. Right, where were we? Alright, they're heading into this nebula. There we go. And something appears, look. A little firefly thing. Is it a starfly from Star Chase, The Legend of Orin? There it comes, look. Anyway, So it's going round, exploring, looking into things. Oh, we learn that Nurse Ogawa is, falling in love with somebody, so she's all giggly. Here we go, the little sparkly thing that nobody's noticing for some reason. It flies into Clara's head, and then comes back out again. So it's obviously read her mind, and now it appears as Isabella. There she is. She appears in the form of Isabella. You can tell she's a baddie straight away because she just looks like one. But anyway, crikey, how far away? How far in are we? 6 minutes in, and we're just getting to the credits. Crikey. Right, so basically, they've got an alien that's pretending to be her imaginary friend, and getting her to do things that she shouldn't be doing and going places that she shouldn't be going. Meanwhile, the Enterprise kind of gets stuck in the nebula. There's these energy tendrils or something that's stopping the Enterprise from getting any further. Clara keeps getting into trouble because Isabella tells her to go to engineering and all these other places. But it turns out that... now, there's the tendrils. It turns out that the tendrils are, the aliens that Isabella is. And they're attracted to the energy from the Enterprise. And they're willing to destroy the Enterprise. But obviously Picard talks her out of it because he's Picard and all that stuff. And Clara says, you can still be my best friend if you want. And she says, okay, will you come this way again? I don't know, I hope so. And the Enterprise feeds the aliens with a beam of energy, and then they're allowed to leave, and everything's lovely. And there we go. Whatever. It's an okay episode. It's not the best, but it's okay. It passes the time. I can't say I dislike it. Moving on. Iborg. This is a good one, and I think most people like this episode. This is one where the Enterprise finds a crashed Borg ship, although they don't know that at the time. They just find a crashed ship. They find a homing signal, a distress signal, I think it is. And so they beam down, and there we go, they find. By the way, Picard says, come on, Dr. Crusher, prepare a medical away team. And then they beam down, and this medical away team that Dr. Crusher prepares is her, just by herself. But anyway, so they find this wreckage, and they move from wreckage, and they find that says there's a life, somebody's alive over here, and they find that it is a Borg with a cut on his forehead. So there we go. What do they do? What do they do with this Borg? And Worf says, "Kill it, leave it here, though it died in the crash." But Beverly's already started treating him because she's, a healer and all that stuff. Meanwhile, all right, and Picard says, "Okay, beam it up, but take precautions, and look after it." Blah blah blah. All the other Borg are dead. I think there were 5 Borg on the ship. It was like a Borg scout ship or something. I don't know. Deanna's been nosy and saying, "Are you sure you're all right with this? Because remember the Borg did kidnap you for 6 days and turned you into Locutus." He says, "I'm fine. Go away." So she cures the Borg, and they keep it in a force field and in a subspace dampening field so it can't send a signal to the Borg. And Picard suggests that they use the Borg to infect the other Borg with a virus to wipe them all out. Anyway, they end up, becoming attached to this Borg because he becomes more of an individual. The longer he is, disconnected from the collective, and he even gets a name, Hugh, which is does me head in. "I'm Beverly, this is Geordie, and you," and it goes, "You," And he says, "No, Hugh." For Christ's sake. Let's call him Barry or something, but anyway. So they become attached to it, and they learn that, he's not just an automaton, and they shouldn't use him as a weapon of mass destruction, basically. That's what they're saying. And even Picard comes to, and Guinan comes to believe that. So they say, okay, we can't do that, so we're just going to send him back. A Borg cube or whatever is on its way to collect him. So they're just going to send him back. They said, but that might be the biggest weapon that they've got, because his sense of individuality will be spread amongst the Borg. But then we learn at the end of next season what that caused. But anyway, so they send him back, and off they go their merry way. And it's a good episode. I like it, and everybody likes Hugh. And then they would kill him off, wouldn't they, in Star Trek Picard? I hate that series, apart from season 3, which were okay. It wasn't brilliant, but it were okay. But season 1 and 2 were bloody awful. So next up, told you Cyborg is a good episode, and this is a good episode as well. The next phase. I bet this raised Riker's eyebrows, talking about phased cloaks, phased cloaking devices. But he never said anything, did he? But anyway, they're rushing to help a Romulan ship which has sent a distress signal. So they go and help, and Geordi and Ensign Rowe beam over to the Romulan ship, and they've got to beam back with a piece of equipment. And as they're beaming back, this woman that's I don't know, I've never seen that. What is that? She's just one pip, and it's a hollow pip. So is that an ensign? Is that a crewman? I don't know. I think they call her an ensign. Hang on, let's have a look. Geordie Ewan Rowe. Come on, tell us. Oh, she's called Brosma. We've got a name. Right then, I'll look that up. Star Trek Brosma. Right. Chief. All right, she's a chief. Chief Brosma. I'm sure she's played an ensign in another episode. Chief Petty Officer Brosman. Oh, right, fair enough. But I'm sure that it must be a different actress then. I've seen another actress that looks a lot like her that played an ensign. Yes, she was just in that one episode. I must be thinking of another actress. All old ladies look the same to me. Anyway, make sure we're still going, by the way. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And yes, we are. Right. Where were we? They're beaming them back over, but something goes wrong, and their patterns are lost, and it's all going wrong. And they think they're dead. They think they're dead. But they reappear on the Enterprise, and it turns out they've been phase cloaked or whatever, so they're out of phase with everybody else, except the floor on each deck. They can walk through walls and stuff and walk through the people, but they don't fall through the floor. They never broach that. Don't overthink it. But anyway, there she is. Look, she's woke up as Ensign Rowe on the Enterprise, and Geordie's elsewhere. So she thinks they're dead, because everybody thinks they've died in the transporter accident. So she thinks she's like a ghost or whatever. But Geordie doesn't want to know that. He says, something's happened to us. I'm not some blind ghost with clothes. Do you think ghosts are nude? I don't know, but anyway. So they eventually suss out that it's the Romulans have been trying to develop a phased cloak. He says the Klingons tried it and didn't work. Now the Romulans are having a go. Little do they know that years and years before, the Federation, Starfleet, had a go, didn't it, with the USS Pegasus, but never mind that. Riker's keeping stum. But anyway, they suss it out that they've got to find a way to to get themselves rephased, and by accident, he learns that is it anions or something, put them back into proper phase or whatever. So they've got to find a way to get them back in phase, but not before they deal with a Romulan that's also out of phase. There he's chasing after. He was chasing after Ensign Rowe, but he ends up getting booted out into space in a minute. Look, he's running past somebody that's doing their. By the way, I like the effects in this, as when they're touching through things, they're phasing through things. It looks really good. Look, he shot her with his disruptor. Anyway, so here he goes. He's got Ensign Rowe, and Geordie comes running in, and here he comes. Pooh, and he goes through the wall, so now he's in space, so he's dead. But they're not falling through the floor. I think the grav plating negates it. It must do. Anyway, they dealt with him, so they've got to work out how to get back in phase. So they go. Apparently, there's a memorial service going on in 10 forward for Geordie and Ensign Rowe. So they're walking round. Ensign Rowe's walking round with the disruptor, shooting it because they learn that they can pick it up on the sensors. They can't. Nobody can see them, by the way. They can't. They're invisible to everybody. So she's going around shooting it and hoping that the sensors will pick it up, so they'll know something's up. So that's what she's doing. But it's not working enough. They do try it, but it doesn't work enough. So she says, right, I'll put the disruptor on overload. So they do it again, and then they get a glimpse of hang on, never mind. There you go. Did you see that? There we go. We're right here. Look, like ghosts. And said, did you? Yes, I did. So they do the anion emissions at maximum or whatever. Flood 10 forward, and they reappear magically, and then they're all happy. And great party. And then Geordie's stuffing his face because he hasn't eaten for 2 days. And there we go. That's the end of that. A good episode. Is the next phase. One of my faves, I must admit. I do like it. It's one of my faves. Right, next. What we're up to? 25. The Inner Light. A lot of people's favourite episode. This is always in the top 10s, isn't it? The Inner Light. It's okay. I don't mind it. It's not in my faves, to be completely honest. But it's okay. I can see why people like it, because it's a nice one, isn't it? Apart from Patrick Stewart's veiny arms, it works out, doesn't it? It must do, to get them veins. Anyway, and this is another one where it shows that like a technologically inferior race easily managed to faff with the human mind. But anyway, so the Enterprise comes across, there we go, a probe from another planet. They don't know where it's from. There's a flash of light, and Picard's ligged out on the floor, unconscious. And then he wakes up. People are calling him Kamin. And he's on another planet. He's on the planet Catan. And he thinks he's being kidnapped, but he's not. And essentially this is the episode where he lives his whole life in 20 minutes or whatever. He's laid out on the bridge of the Enterprise, and this probe is affecting his brain, and he's leading his whole life as this Kamin chap on the planet Catan from 1,000 years in the past. And even though they didn't have super duper technology, they did have rockets and stuff, and let's say they had this probe that they built. They can affect the human mind and basically enable him to live an entire lifetime, or more or less. I don't know. We'll say 40 years or whatever. So I don't know how old he's supposed to be. I don't know how long he's supposed to be in there. Well, maybe 30 years, we'll say. In 20 minutes. So half a lifetime. On this planet, Catan. And as I say, eventually lives there, and he has kids and grandkids. We learn that Catan's dying. Apparently, the Catan sun went nova and destroyed all life on the planet. 1,000 years earlier. He's playing his flute. By the way, we see whenever Patrick Stewart is shown as old, he just gets longer hair at the back. He needs to see Mr. Mott, doesn't he? But anyway, that's by the by. They try and, meanwhile, the Enterprise, they try and disconnect him, the energy beam or whatever from the probe, and it all goes wrong, so they just leave it. So there they go, they're getting old, his hair's getting longer. We're going to see, hang on, I forgot to mention his veiny arms, didn't I? Hang on, where's his, showing his, there they are. Shows it there, look at them veins on his arms, look, bloody hell, fire, Patrick. He's been it, Jim, and he knew this episode was coming up and I'm going to be showing my arms off, so yeah, get lifting some weights, hey. Oh, God. And I'll say it again, he's a Yorkshireman, so he shouldn't worry about these things. He should have had a bacon sandwich and thought no of it. Anyway. Sorry, that's that one. I forgot where I was now. Where were we? Oh, my, he's got old. He's got old, so his hair's got longer, look. And we see his son in a minute. Where are we? There he is. His son. There we go. There. Who is played? I forgot. Daniel. Is it Daniel Stewart? I've forgotten his bloody name. Where are we? The inner light. Oh, no, I pressed that for. God, you stupid man. I'm an idiot. Is it Daniel Stewart? Yes, Daniel Stewart, who plays his son in this. And Daniel Stewart is Patrick Stewart's real son. Who were born the same year I was. But I must admit, when they were talking, I thought, is that the fellow that plays the Traveller? But it's not. It's Daniel Stewart, Patrick Stewart's son. Who wants to become a musician. Anyway, so he's getting ready. His wife dies, and they're showing him. There you go, his wife dies. And then X amount of years later, his hair's even longer. He's getting older. He's got grandkids, and they're taking him to watch the launch. He says, what they're launching? And they say, you know what it is, you've seen it, and it's, we chose you, etc., and all that stuff. So basically, it's a time capsule. We hoped somebody would find us, at some point, and remember who we are. So they basically put a lot on his, on his plate, haven't they? An entire civilization from 1,000 years in the past want to be remembered in the memories of one man. So I'm guessing he wrote a book about it. Did Picard? My Time on Catan. By the way, at some point, they traced the probe back, because it's left like an ion trail or something. They traced it back to the planet that it launched from, and Geordie says it's from an unmapped system, and then he says a planet called Catan. I thought, hang on, you just said it were unmapped. How do you know it's called Catan? Whatever. Don't overthink it. Anyway, so he's fine, and obviously he's a bit disoriented at first, but as you would be. He's just lived 40 years ish. As another person, so he's bound. I'd be going mental. Me, I wouldn't be able to cope. But he does. He goes back to his quarters, and they got the probe. The probe went inert, and the tractor beamed it in or whatever. And there were one thing inside it. I presume there were other things, but one thing inside it, and it's his flute. So he starts playing it. Here he comes. He starts playing his flute. His little tune that sounds a bit like Speed Bonnie Boat, like the bird, that Sky Boat song or whatever they call it. Does he play it? Like a bird on the wing. It reminds me of that. Anyway. And we see that flute again, don't we, in the episode, I can't remember, but the one where he falls in love with that woman, that pianist woman. So there we go, so that's that one, that's in the light. Yeah, I can see why people like it, I can. And I do like it as well, it's a lovely episode, hits you in the feels, doesn't it? quite often. There's that episode, but it's not in me super duper faves. But I do like it. I do see why it is in a lot of people's faves. The finale, the climax, whatever. I don't know. Could this be the least good season finale? Cliffhanger of TNG could be. Anyway, they're being called back to Earth here, being called back to Sector 001. Why do you say being called back to Earth? But anyway, must admit, cool shot of the Enterprise orbiting Earth with the moon. That's a good desktop wallpaper there, isn't it? But anyway, they're being called back to Earth because they've found something under San Francisco, under the Presidio, whatever they call it, Presidio. This is where they find Data's head. Are we going to see it? There it is. For Pete's sake. There it is. Data's head under the Presidio. And we learn that it is actually Data's head. And because Picard says, could it be Law? It's not looking well, is it? Picard says, could it be Law? And he says, no, Law had a type L phase discriminator, whereas I have a type R. Picard goes, type R, as though he knows what he's on about, But I thought that were wrong. I thought they were identical, because they said, didn't they, in one episode, but in Family or Brothers, wasn't it? But in Brothers, that he said they're virtually identical apart from a bit of programming. So the virtual part must have been the type L and type R discriminator. But anyway, hello, Scottish Geek Guy. I've nearly finished. I'm on the last episode. Anyway, they found Data's head, and they're wondering why it's there. And how it got there. It's been there for 500 years, by the way, from the late 19th century. So, obviously, this is a nice little scene where Geordie, obviously, he's worried about, what's going to happen. When's Data going to lose his head? Data's fine about it, obviously, because he's Data. But everybody else, is worrying for him, and he's noticing. And he's saying, I've noticed people, end conversations and all that stuff. But it is a nice little scenes where, they say, we are getting used to you and all that, and we're all fond of him. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they find that on Data, or on something that they find there, maybe it's on Data's head, I don't know, but they find like a microscopic fossil of a little creature that can only be found on Davidia 2, so that's where they're heading. Will you carry on the marathons with Deep Space Nine? Yes, I'm doing all the way up to Enterprise, so I'll be doing this for quite some time, every other Wednesday. Oh dear. Anyway, so they arrive at Davidia 2, and they do a landing part, an away team, but they don't send Data, and Data's saying, I should be going, I'm Data, I should be going, and said, no, well, we're taking precautions, whatever. But he does end up having to beam down, so because he's got his phase discriminator or whatever that he's got in his head or whatever will allow him to see what's going on in this cavern. So that's what they're going to do. And hang on, where are we? So they use this phase discriminator, and it allows him. It sends him out of phase. Whatever's in there is just slightly out of phase, so they can't see it. Not like Geordie and Roe, where this is slightly out of phase in time. By like a millisecond or something like that, so they can't see what's going on. But Data, because of his special dataness, they can adjust it, and he'll disappear. He'll go out of phase, but he's made it so that he can communicate with them, but they can't see him. So he's telling them what's going on. I can see these creatures that are here, and things are going into the foreheads, and they've got an Ophidian, and everybody's like, what the hell's an Ophidian? It's a snake, apparently. But and then he says something's happening, and there's I can't say there's a flash, but there's a noise of a flash. Does that make sense? a whoosh noise, and they lose contact with him. So they've lost Data, and then he wakes up. There's Data in a minute. Tell you. Oh, there he is. He wakes up on the back lot of somewhere in Hollywood. So anyway, so there he is. So he's back in the late 19th century, and he comes across this fella, and this fella is amazing. I've no idea who the actor is, but he's amazing. I don't know, but he just plays this character really, really well. Probably one of the best characters in the episode, if you ask me. But he's great as an old 49er, and he obviously needs lots of whiskey and stuff. He's a beggar basically, but just the way he does it is amazing. But there we go. He's talking to Data. Data's trying to get information. They're not in Putney, because that's in London, isn't it, Putney? He's in San Francisco, by the way. And he's no money, so he's going to go and play cards with Gul Dukat. Is it going to show it? There he is. Look, Mark Alemo playing, I don't know, some Frenchman or something. And he's going to win lots of money off them at poker. Going to use his communicator as collateral. Well, he sells it for $3 to Mark Alemo. And clears them out of money. So there we go. By the way, he's made friends with this bellboy who's called Jack. We learn who he is, because he's going to be famous. But that's next season. But anyway, he's helping Data. Data's getting he's been like Spock was in City on the Edge of Forever. He's wanting to build something, using bear skins and stone tools and stuff. Anyway, yes, and we learn what's going on, what the secret of these Davidians is. Look, help a 49er. It's a great character, great actor. Anyway, these two arrive, and what they're doing is naughty stuff. There we go. They're using this beam of energy, and they trick the life out of him. They basically kill him. What they're doing, they're getting people, they're taking the life force from people who are about to die anyway. So you can't say I don't know, are they evil? They're trying to make out that they are evil, but they're looking for people that won't be missed, like this poor beggar and stuff. But they're taking his life force, that's what they need, and they take it back to the video too, and then they ingest it, the others. So that's what's happening there. They're worried, trying to find out how to find Data, what's happened to him. Guinan tells Picard that, Pete's sake, Guinan tells Picard basically he's got to go on the away team, because if he doesn't, they'll never meet. So anyway, there you go. Data's making his thing that Spock made, ish. He needs an anvil for some reason. He explains why, I can't remember. Anyway, then he learns that Guinan's there. There she is, because he reads a newspaper. Madame Guinan, I don't know. What's she supposed to be? She's written a book? I don't know, but she's there. She's been lauded over, which, I don't know, would that have happened back then? I'm sorry, not being racist or anything, but, whatever. And Mark Twain's there. Played by Jerry, I've forgotten his name. Jerry, what's his face? Me and names. It was in the X-Files. It played Jerry Harding. There we go. As Samuel Clemens. Sorry, not Mark Twain. Same person. With a really annoying voice. Did Mark Twain really sound like that? Let's listen to him.
And are undoubtedly based upon your keen observational skills.
Really annoying voice. Did Mark Twain really sound like that, I wonder? Anyway, he goes on this really long diatribe about the Earth and being 100 million years old and all this stuff, and it goes on for ages, and it's just to show that I don't know what it's there for, to be honest. This pointless bit that goes on for like minutes and minutes. Looks ages. Then Data finally arrives to, put a stop to this nonsense. It says he thinks it's Guinan from the Enterprise. He says, "Hello, Guinan." She says, "Who are you?" Because she doesn't know who he is. Because remember, Guinan's hundreds of years old. Excuse me. And she doesn't know him because she's not met him yet. But he thinks, they found a way to get Guinan there to save me or whatever. But no, she is from that time period. But she's on Earth. So obviously the Borg haven't been yet to wipe out the Elorians. She thinks, has my father sent you? Anyway, says, "No, I know you in the future." And there he is. There, look. Mark Twain spying on them because he's a nosy bugger. Anyway, meanwhile, on Davidia 2, they're setting up things so that they can see the Davidians and all that. He beams down, sends Worf back. Anyway, right, so there we go. We see the Davidians now. They're just lazing, chilling, and getting the energy from the dead people. They go. Deanna says, "Oh no, the feeding on. I can sense a young boy and an old man and all this stuff." So the basically the soul reapers out, I suppose you could say. What were they in Babylon 5? Soul. I forgot what they're called. They're like them. But they use them for sustenance. But anyway, the Ophidian or whatever appears, and I don't know why, but is it alive? Is it technology? I don't know, but they use it to open a time portal, and they all step through, obviously to go and find Data, and then we get to be continued. Dun dun dun. Wonder what will happen in season 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think it's generally agreed, isn't it, that Time's Arrow is the least of the Star Trek cliffhanger episodes, season ender openers. But it's still okay. I don't mind it. But there we go. We've got to wait now 2 weeks. Week on Wednesday when I'll come back with season 6 and we'll find out what's happened with Data in 19th century San Francisco and the rest of them. But anyway, so that's it for season 5. A good season, a pretty good season. I didn't like the Luxana Troy episode, but I generally don't, apart from that one, Half Alive. The rest of them, not bothered. Adam Grease, Inner Light is a very good episode in my opinion. Yes, I think it is as well. As I said, I can understand why it's in people's top 10 lists and all that stuff. It's not one of my personal, in my top 10, but it's not far off. It's up there. But I like it. Descent is worse, but not an RNDR4. I don't know. I like Descent. I like Descent more than this. If Descent had that fella playing the beggar, it'd be top stuff. He's my favourite bit. Can you help a 49er? What's R&DR for? But not an R&DR for. Season ender. Oh, is that what you're going to say? It's not a season end. Oh, right. Okay, right, fair enough. Descent is worse, but not a season ender. Descent is a season end. It's the end of season 6 and beginning of season 7, isn't it? But anyway, whatever. Because they're going to destroy. But we'll get to that, won't we? But anyway, so there we go. Right, so that's the end of season 5 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. A good season. For the most part. So anyway, so we'll pick up season 6. So we're getting there now. We've only 2 more seasons to go. Pick up season 6 a week on Wednesday. We'll be doing it live again. We'll find out what happened in Time's Arrow Part 2. Spoilers, we'll learn that Data eventually has a 500-year-old head. Doesn't it? I think he does. I'm sure he does. But anyway, never mind. But I enjoy this story more. Well, fair enough. Oh, hang on, sorry. The cliffhanger is better for Descent, but I enjoy this story more. All right, I see what you mean. Right. Okie dokie. I like Descent more. Like I say, I think this, all right, for me then, this is the least of the season finales and whatever's. But anyway, but I still do enjoy it. So there we go. Right, we'll leave it there. So what's coming up next? What day are we on? Wednesday, Friday for Appointment with Fear this week. Pardon me. We're looking at Abigail, which is a fun film, but I'll not tell you what it's about. Maybe it's got Dracula in it. Maybe. And then on Monday, for Magnificent Mondays next week, we're doing Roswell, the 1994 TV movie. So it's in 4:3 aspect ratio. About the Roswell crash and stuff, and the conspiracies and all that around it, starring Kyle MacLachlan and Martin Sheen. Actually, it's got an all-star cast, loads of famous people in this. Dwight Yoakam, and loads of others who I've forgotten. Charles Hallahan, Charles Martin Smith, Xander Berkeley, etc. Lots of people. So that should be fun. Right. We'll leave it there. Right, so thanks Wingrace and Adam Green and Scottish Geek Guy and Josh Temple. Have we had anybody else? I think that's it, isn't it? I think I'll just check back and make sure I haven't missed anybody. No, we haven't. Thanks for keeping me company while I talk about Star Trek again. I'll just check over on Rumble, make sure there's no live chats. No, there ain't. Right. So we'll leave it there. So thanks for keeping me company and the billions watching around the world. So until next time, obviously next week, next Wednesday, I'll be doing 1988 from my top 5 favourite films from each year since I was born. So that's next Wednesday, and then the Wednesday after will be season 6 of TNG. Looking forward to that one. So thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other. Hang on, I've got to find my thing. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll say there.